is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231. In Plantation, 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton and Ray. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Boys and girls, welcome aboard on a beautiful Monday, February 9th, 2026. It is day number 19,016 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. Day number 8,799 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Welcome aboard. Day after the Super Bowl, I want to thank the Seattle Seahawks. Easy win, layup. Although I was disappointed because I was hoping that New England would get the ball first and somehow they'd get like a lucky drive going, maybe even sneak in a field goal. And then the 4.5 that I laid, which, by the way, immediately when we got to kickoff, I don't know if you noticed this, Sean, it went right up to 5.5 and 6, like right away. And then you never saw that 4.5 again. But I was hoping that New England would do something early, and then I would get an even more of a bonus line on Seattle, maybe -1.5 or pick 'em or whatever if New England would score. And then I was going to double or triple my bet or something. And then we would have gotten some real extra Bitcoin. My prop didn't hit. I looked like a Bobo picking Jake, but that's how it goes. It's a prop, but what can I tell you? But I felt good the entire time that Seattle was going to control this. I told you guys throughout that Drake May was not playing well, and I went back to it against Denver. He was 10 of 21 for 86 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And then even against Houston, there was that small stretch, but it was really 16 of 27, 179. He had the 3 touchdowns, and then he also had the interception. But if you look at it, he completed 59% of his passes. Okay, so, to me, it's like Drake May in the playoffs, 58, 59, 47, and 62. 62 was last night. Because he got in a whole bunch of like garbage stuff early on. I mean, late in the game where he got a couple of and it kind of raised, but it was really because he passed for 295 yards yesterday. But yeah, whatever. Got that lucky drive down with our boy Mac Hollins, who I love. But it was kind of garbage points. That game was over already. They dominated. And that's why I didn't expect Drake May. Some people, he wasn't ready for this and all that. Dude, he's a young guy. And you went up against a vicious defense that was shutting everybody else down. You have to be like a Matt Stafford to try to have success against guys like this. And we're not going to put Drake May in Matt Stafford's position, even though Drake May had a fantastic regular season, okay? You had to have seen this coming. You know what I mean? Outside of being a Patriots fan, or just some guy really doesn't understand football, there was no way that the Patriots were going to win that game unless Sam Darnold turned into the Sam Darnold of old, the guy that I don't trust, the guy that proved me wrong, the guy that has now won a Super Bowl, and in back-to-back seasons, 2 different teams won, 13 or 14 games or something stupid like that? That guy, that guy has proven a lot of us wrong, but I got to talk for myself because obviously when I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you. And so, it is what it is. Got to give them credit. Seattle's defense was awesome. And that's now you just tip your hat to them and it's over. But I want to thank Seattle at least because, they made me a little extra money last night. It was the easiest 4.5 to lay and sit back and just enjoy it. It was like really never a threat. It was nice. It's nice to lay a bet and just sit back and relax and enjoy the win. Like it was never threatened or anything like that. It just like you looked at it and you go, oh, they're in control. They'll just keep adding field goals. These people can't score with a fistful of dollars in a whorehouse, so let's go. Mike McDonald's group. Amazing. So Cooper Kupp wins 2 titles with 2 different teams. Pretty cool. Kenneth Walker gets the MVP, 135 yards, 26 receiving.
Let's see what else. McDonald gets the championship at 38 years old. The 12, which is the fans, matches the 12 years since the last time Seattle won. So a little bit of a nice correlation there, or whatever you want to call it, between the two. So it's been 12 years, and the 12 get to celebrate another championship. So that's really, really cool. Overall, Sam Darnold didn't have to be great. He just had to be efficient. And yesterday, 19 of 38, 202 and a touchdown, no turnovers. You look at Drake May, there were interceptions, there was fumbles, there was, all kinds of stuff. And the kid was sacked 6 times too, on top of all of that, and hit a lot. So that Seattle defense is just absolutely nasty, dude. Nasty. That defense, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. The time of possession was 33 to 26. 33-4 to 26-49 in time of possession. I mean, it's ridiculous what went on. So it's just impressive. You just got to tip your hat to Seattle. It wasn't much of a Super Bowl. Did it really matter who was going to be there? No. Seattle was going to kick anybody's ass. And one of the things that we talked about, a couple weeks back, right, when we were watching the Rams and Seattle, what we were saying, that's the Super Bowl. What have we told you about OKC and San Antonio? That's the NBA Finals. Yeah, I know the Knicks are having a hell of a season. They're not beating the West. They're not beating the West. You know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is. So we saw the Super Bowl on the west side, and now, or on the NFC side, and now we've watched the NBA Finals on the Western Conference. So same thing there with the 2 different teams. So just massive for Seattle. And how about that division for next year? Again, holy shit, dude. Wow. That's a brutal division right there. Man, can you imagine our Dolphins having to be in that division? They wouldn't even ever win more than 3 games. If they had to, get replaced by the Arizona Cardinals, wow. Damn. That would be a really rough division to kind of like try to make hay in, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway. Congratulations to Seattle. Well-deserved, dude. Well-deserved. That city's going to have some fun. So we are envious down here in Miami. Although, hey, listen, we've had our share of championships too. So it's pretty good lately. I know we haven't gotten our football championship, but we've had some other championships, which is pretty cool too. So, although there were no pots and pans for the Inter Miami one, so I don't really know if it counts. It's just that one's kind of tough, man. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, don't forget, folks, hit the like button. All right, get us going there. Get the algorithms going. Of course, we appreciate it immensely. You can make a donation to the show. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, of course. And, of course, you can send in your questions and your comments and your insults and all kinds of good stuff. We always appreciate it. We love the super chats. Don't get us wrong. But, we enjoy the donations there because we get 100%. On YouTube, they take 30% away in those super chats. By the way, Subaru of Pembroke Pines, we give you $500 off when you mention our name there at 16100 Pines Boulevard. Allen is great people out there, folks. The fall head over heels for our incredible deals sales event going on right now. Make no payments for 90 days. The BRZ and the Ascent right now, 1.9% financing for up to 75 months. That is crazy. The Forester right now, $249 a month, 0.9% financing right now, folks. 0 down payments for 90 days. Okay. $299 a month for the Outback Premium right now, 2026, 3.9% financing. Take advantage, folks. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will give you $500 off. 2026 Crosstrek Base, $169 a month, 2.9% financing available. They've got 0 payments for 90 days. It is all part of the fall head over heels for our incredible deals savings event going on. The 2025 Subaru Legacy Premium, $257 a month, 2.9% financing. I'm telling you, it just continues. The 2025 Forester Premium Hybrid, $199 a month. That is like giving it away, okay? And it's loaded, too, on top of all of that. 0% financing is available for this 2025 model. They only have a few available, so take advantage. The 2026 Subaru Impreza Sport, brand new, $214 a month, 3.9% financing. I mean, it's just really Eric Stampone, all the great people out there. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you there. 16100 Pines Boulevard. It is Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. Oh, what do we have here? Dolphin Dave, defense, special teams, running game, not great. Quarterback wins Super Bowl. Go draft more O-line, D-line, of course. New England got outcoached. No, they did not get outcoached. New England just didn't have the team that's going to match up with Seattle. It didn't matter what coach you had. You can have Don Shula or Vince Lombardi or Walsh or Belichick or whatever. You weren't going to win that game. You weren't the better team. So it wasn't about being outcoached. Seattle's just better. Okay? Just better, period. Everywhere. They're better. Let's see. Oscar says, shame to see what happened to Lindsey Vonn. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's she's got some balls, man. And it was a damn flag that tripped her up. She got caught with the damn flag. That sucks, dude. That totally sucks. Horn Dog, good morning to you. The Seahawks, who we thought they were, and I really enjoyed Bad Bunny's performance, his message. You know, we could get in a little bit into the Bad Bunny stuff. There's a tweet. Sean, if you could go look at it there on my Twitter page and pull it up while I'm talking. It's somebody that talks about how they. I'll give you. It's something that in a way reflects me, and you know, and the right or wrong or whatever. There is no right or wrong or anything to any of this, but it's let me see where it is here. Where is it? You know what? Let me just email it to you. That way, it's a lot easier, Sean, for you to find it instead of my crazy world of posting. Here it is. Okay. All right. Now let me read it, okay? Since I have it pulled up here. So, and I kind of feel this way. Okay. I enjoyed Kendrick Lamar's halftime show even though I'm not black, and I enjoyed Bad Bunny's even though I'm not Latina. But because I like America and watch different cultures in this country celebrate themselves, those are my neighbors, and it never occurs to me to find that threatening because I'm not an emotional little crybaby. Okay, so I kind of have a little bit of relationship with this tweet. Why? I didn't enjoy Kendrick Lamar at all. Last year, I didn't enjoy the Kendrick Lamar one. I don't follow all the stupid bullshit between him and Drake and all the messages that were inside all of that. I didn't know anything about that. I had to go back and study it and figure it out and read about it and all that kind of stuff to figure out the disses and all that. And so to me, it was kind of like one of those jokes that goes by you and you don't know, because I'm old. I'm 59. And reggaeton. I don't give a shit about reggaeton. I had some idiot, Alex Velez on Twitter. He goes, of course you're not. You're a sellout Latino. And I go to him because I'm Cuban, you idiot. I'm supposed to like reggaeton? Bro, reggaeton's been around since the 80s. I've never liked it then. I don't like it now. Don't like it. But I understand rap is enormous. Now, I may like more of the 80s and 90s rap. I don't like a lot of the rap nowadays. Although Kendrick's pretty good, but I'm not really into Kendrick, I can say, right? So I'm not going to lie to you about that. I'm not going to say, oh, my God, I listen to Kendrick Lamar all the time. No, dude. No, I'll listen to Snoop all the time. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I actually love Lupe Fiasco. There's some guys that I do like new, but it's very selective. So I didn't enjoy the Kendrick Lamar one last year, and I didn't enjoy Bad Bunny's music at all last night. I'm Hispanic, and I could not understand some of the shit that he was saying. It was so confusing that if you put on the sap, it couldn't keep up with it. Okay, so I just did that for the hell of it, and I go and I showed my wife. Did you notice that the sap can't even keep up with it? Because it's the reggaeton thing. Like, I'm sure the person that's trying to translate, like even the bot that's like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I'm saying? I've never liked reggaeton in my life. Now, do I know it's big? Yeah, dude. Do I know that rap is big? Yeah, of course I know that it's big. Do I like it? No. What am I going to do? I also know Taylor Swift is really big, and I have no interest in listening to Taylor Swift whatsoever. None whatsoever. Now, did I enjoy the shit out of Gaga for a moment? That's the song she does with Bruno Mars. Yeah, I love that song because I love Gaga. I love Bruno Mars. I'm not into Bad Bunny. Sorry, dude. It's not my style. Don't like it. Never like reggaeton. Never will like reggaeton. Cannot adjust to it. I'm sorry. And I've been around since the beginning of reggaeton. Okay, which was, I don't know, somewhere in the 80s is the first time I heard reggaeton. I don't know when in the 80s, but it's been coming out of Puerto Rico since the 80s. They're the kings of it. And I've hated reggaeton then, and I still can't stand it now. But I get it. Other people, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it's not very popular. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that a lot of people don't like it and love it and want to see it. So I got to wait my turn. Maybe next year I'll get an artist that I really like. I do love Gaga. I do love Green Day. So good. I can see and watch Jessica Alba every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So, there were positives for me in the whole thing. Did I care about the music? No. Was the message fantastic? Of course it was. Those people, by the way, Sean, I don't know if you know it, they really got married. You know the story? They invited Bad Bunny to their wedding. He declined. Instead, he invited them to his performance. And those people actually got married. So, the whole unity and love and all that, which is what it should be, of course, So it's just one of those deals. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the message and the whole thing. And by the way, there was a lot of good looking dancers. So that was pleasant to see, I will admit. But did I give a rat's ass about the music? Not at all, dude. Not at all. It did nothing for me whatsoever. And guess what? The Rihanna one, I love Rihanna's music. Her Super Bowl halftime show sucked, dude. That thing was boring. But she was pregnant. She had to adjust, and that whole level thing, it was just like weird and distant and not very connective, and that whole thing. It just, I could do with. There's plenty of them over the years that you could say, didn't really enjoy this or that or whatever. Okay. And then there's other ones that I absolutely freaking love, So what are you going to do? You're going to love Michael Jackson. You're going to love Prince. I'm going to love Kiss. I'm going to, there's different ones that have happened over the years that I'm going to enjoy. And then there's some that you're not going to enjoy. And by the way, as I get older, I'm probably going to enjoy them less because they're gearing towards younger people. And Franco Panizo, who I bring on every once in a while to talk a little Inter Miami soccer. He made a great point. Did you see his tweet, Sean, at all? Franco Panizo's? He goes, Americans should chill out. The NFL already has your market. Don't you notice all the games that are now being played in Hispanic countries? They're doing something trying to reach out to the Hispanic and connect with the Hispanic listener. And Bad Bunny's music is probably enormous in Brazil and in Spain and in all the other parts and different parts of Central and South America. And so if you're now going to start having games in those parts of the world, then all of a sudden, you're having permanent games in Spain and in Brazil. Well, then, Mexico, well, Bad Bunny's music resonates there. So there is a little bit of marketing behind what the NFL is doing with Bad Bunny, and that's what people have to understand. And so the NFL is growing and adapting. It's kind of like what we talked about, I believe it was on the Saturday show with Tom Brady, how he has grown and he has to adapt, yet stupid little silly Patriot fans and, Dave Portnoy get their little panties in a bunch because the guy's a national commentator now, cannot show bias. No national commentator does. So he has to kind of be that way. And he's an owner of the Raiders. Of course, deep down inside, he's rooting for Robert Kraft, but he has to grow up and kind of, fans don't, and neither does Dave Portnoy. I get it, but you got to understand. And so you got to understand what the NFL is doing. They're expanding into markets, they're marketing, and they're going after genres of music that connect with younger people and next generations that are going to be their fans. They already have our old asses. So if you don't like it and you don't want to watch it, well, get your tight ass out of here and don't watch it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Go get a smoke, go get a drink, go talk shit, whatever. Look at the orangutan. After talking all that shit, he sat there and watched, Bad Bunny instead of, who the hell, what loser is going to watch Kid Rock, dude? Give me a break. I saw the cuts on Twitter. He had like a track under, and he was off rhythm with the track and lip syncing and all that kind of shit. And so now they say it was even recorded and everything. It wasn't even live, which, whatever. It's all bullshit, but, kind of a joke, the whole thing, the outrage and all that. You don't like his music? So what, dude? Who cares? Big freaking deal. Sometimes I don't like the music either. That doesn't mean anything. Whatever. I watched it. My daughter and my wife were going to watch it for sure. So 2 out of the 3 in my house are going to watch it. So I sat there and I watched it. And then when I saw Gaga, I was okay. I was pleasantly surprised. I got a little Gaga, which was really, really good. I really liked that song. And then seeing Jessica Alba, just kind of my Dark Angel days just come back to me. They just revolve back there, the Dark Angel. So it's always good to see the Dark Angel. When I can see Max, life is good. Life is good. Original Cindy is very underrated in that show. Very underrated in that show. Just want to say, So that's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, remember Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. How are the markets doing right now, by the way? We are at 69,983 for Bitcoin. The markets, I know that China's going to be dumping U.S. treasuries, so that's not a good thing. Dow Jones is down to open up the morning, but not by much. I see it's only 21 points, not a big deal. The S&P is up 13. Let me see if it just refreshes and changes a little bit here. I got the NASDAQ up about 0.5 point. Yeah, no, I think that is the accurate call right now. Since I pulled it up, let me see. Yeah. So it's not too bad right now. But a little bit of concerning stuff hearing that China's going to be dumping U.S. treasuries. Not surprised, of course. What else do we have? The horn dog is in the house. True Fin fan. Seattle by a minimum of 10. Pats had the third easiest schedule and 2 easiest in the last 20 years. Stroud is horrible, and Denver had no QB plus bad coaching calls. Knew it. Yeah. It just Seattle was too good this year, bro. They were too good. I thought it was the Rams, and then the last quarter of the season, they proved to me that they were the ones to watch, not the Rams. But again, it was that division, those two and the Niners. Jesus Christ! And if the Niners are healthy, watch out, man. Watch out. Pat in Nashville says, I watch both Spanish Bunny and Toilet Paper USA halftime shows and couldn't understand a word either. Wow, you watched that other one? Ugh. Oh. Are you getting psychological help for it or something? Akaris, congrats to the Seahawks. New era begins for the Finns. New coach and GM. Fins up no matter what. Stoney Stanley in the house. Cosa Nostra. Big Johnson. Did you get my pics? Get my pics from my car. Where did you send them? Sean, did you get them? Oh, you know what? Maybe I haven't checked the email, the show email. So he might have sent it to the show email. Let me see. I'm just glad you're all right, dude. Fucking head-on collision. No, I didn't see it. Send it to Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. All right? Do me a favor. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. As always, you are the man. Thank you for your donation. And he just puts, have a great day. Thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting you, man. Look forward to seeing you again. I'll be in Jacksonville again. There'll be a concert or something. And we will definitely cross paths again, my friend. Thank you, sir. As always. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. All right. Let's see what we got here. Horn Dog says, I've never seen our boy Vrabel and Josh McDaniel outcoached like this before. They didn't have the team. It's not really outcoach. It's just when you don't have the guns to match what is on the other side of the field, can't do anything about that. Shula's a hell of a coach, right? But when his team was up against San Francisco, doesn't matter if you had Marino because they had more. And that's just kind of the way it goes. You know, when you're outmatched, you're outmatched. When you're outclassed, you're outclassed. And they were all of the above. So it just, I don't look at it as coaching. There was no coaching that was saving the New England Patriots from winning that game. There was no way they were going to win at all. Oscar Rojas, can we please give the Miami Heat a victory? Well, yeah, I guess they played the Wizards, right? And they play the Wizards again tonight. What kind of scheduling is this shit, dude? Okay, give him Sean. I mean, if you don't beat the Wizards, you know, I don't know if I should really give you a victory cigar for beating a 14-38 Wizards. But go ahead, Sean Stanley. Give them a victory cigar. Yakuchonis played well. Good for him. Luis Notare out in the Jersey Shore. He's hanging out with Steve Calabro. Todd says, Dolphin Danny, both teams sported good defenses, but Seattle had the complete team, even special teams. Yeah. Yeah, man. There was no coaching that were going to save them. Giovanni in. Let's see. Pat Nashville says, I bathed in Patriots, Jets, Bills fans' tears this morning as it was glorious. Juan Rosa, good morning, and all. I thought the Super Bowl commercials were crap. You know, the one commercial that I really liked, and I don't know the company now that did it, unfortunately, but it was the caddy that had a golf club for every scenario that the ball was stuck at. Did you see that one, Sean? I thought that was actually really crafty. The one of the caddy that he had every club for every weird angle and situation, the rock, the whole thing. I don't know if you saw it, but I actually thought that was creative and that was a pretty good commercial, you know. But the commercials suck. Again, it's just not like how it used to be, you know, when it first started and they were creative and all that kind of stuff. They came up with a lot of really good commercials and it was funny. Now it's just kind of dried out, unfortunately. Sucks. Gus 1388. Delvis in. Dave Portnoy's face. Priceless seeing Patriots lose. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Ty in the Bronx. Let's see. What else? Brian Landis. Juan Rosa says, I didn't see too much competitive action. Yeah, no, Seattle's just too good, bro. Too good. Sometimes that just happens. The other side is just too good. And, you know, they run all over you. And you can't do anything about it. Jeff in Long Island says, I didn't watch either halftime show. I thought Green Day was great. I love Green Day. And like the commercials, I thought of you, Big O, on the Coinbase one. Wow, that was terrible, wasn't it? That was so plain Jane and I know that was kind of the idea, you know, like, and you just see the message and whatever. But, yeah, but don't use Coinbase. I don't trust Coinbase personally, but that's just me. Not a financial advisor, never have been, never will be. So, you know, never is ever financial advice, what I say, or sporting advice or betting advice, or, you know, I'm like Schultz from Hogan's Hero back in the day. I know nothing. Let's see. Ocala Joe, good morning to you, sir. You can put me down on the boring Super Bowl column, and I didn't care for the bunny either. Yeah, I mean, the music, I've never been a reggaeton fan. Never. Way before Bad Bunny was even born, I didn't like reggaeton. Okay? So I didn't like reggaeton before Bad Bunny was an embryo, was a sperm. Okay? So it's nothing new for me. I've never been a reggaeton fan. It's just, but that's fine. A ton of people love reggaeton. It's been around since the 80s. Can you look at what year reggaeton was born in Puerto Rico? Because, of course, that is the home of reggaeton. They own it, bitch. That is theirs. Okay? That's their genre. So you got to give them. Everybody else copied them. They started it. They ignited that fire. I'm pretty sure of that, like 100% sure of that. But I don't know what year it is in the 80s. I'm going to guess reggaeton was born in 83. Go ahead, Sean. What year was reggaeton born in Puerto Rico? Los Puerto Rico. Go ahead. Is the mic on? Okay. There we
go. So it says reggaeton originated in the mid to late 1980s in Panama as reggae in Espanol.
Wow.
It does go on to say, though, before evolving and gaining mainstream popularity in Puerto Rico during the 90s. It emerged from a blend of Jamaican dancehall, hip-hop, and Latin American.
So Panama my future home is the home to reggaeton. What year? What they said early to
It
mid.
just said in the 80s, and then the form that we see today, the mainstream popularity in Puerto Rico during the 90s.
Right. Okay. Wow, interesting. So Panama it was, not Puerto Rico in the 80s.
Yeah, it said artists like Renato and El General began singing Spanish lyrics over Jamaican.
Wait. El General, isn't that the guy that sings Gasolina? Who's the guy that sings Gasolina? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Because I think, isn't Gasolina like a reggaeton song? Let me see.
Yeah, they played it a little bit last night.
Yeah, but that's not his song. I think it's
no, I know,
else.
but I'm saying they
because that's like an old song.
Oh no, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying they influenced it in as part of the performance.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's asking me that to see that I'm not a robot in my search. This is terrible. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Come on, hurry up. Give me the Daddy Yankee. That's who it is. Daddy Yankee did Gasolina. That's the guy. Puerto Rican rapper. There you go. Okay. So again, a Puerto Rican. That's why they did a little bit in the honor of Gasolina. So it was Panama in the 80s where it was born, not Puerto Rico. Wow. So Puerto Rico like enhanced it and took it to the next level.
I guess technically the term reggaeton was coined by DJ Nelson around 1995 to describe the fusion, and that was in Puerto Rico.
Okay, right. Yeah, I know Puerto Rico's like the one that is like heavily influenced in that, but I didn't know it was born in Panama. Wow. That's pretty, but see, there we go. That's why it's all over Central and South America. And now the NFL is playing in those places. So branching out, some people may not want it, but the country is a melting pot. So different cultures, you get experience different things. You may like some, you may not like others. Just kind of the way it is, I love Southern rock. Sometimes I get side-eyed from people about Southern rock. Just kind of the way it goes. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to like Southern rock. Just kind of weird like that, so got to deal with it. It is what it is. Joseph is in the house. Juan Rosa, I didn't mention that on, I believe on Friday, because I was on Friday and Saturday. But yeah, Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down, rest in peace. He passed away after battling cancer, 47 years old. Just ridiculous. I was lucky. I was able to see Three Doors Down a couple times. Really love them. Really enjoy their music. Overall, really good American band. 47, man. Just every day is a blessing, dude. Just so unfair sometimes, life, how it kicks everybody in the ass. But yeah, just sucks, man. Yeah, one. Lisa Rose in the house. Man of 1,005 holes. I wish I was a sugarcane yesterday. Easy money. Alexis Palenzuela. Frankie says, I prefer getting married in a more intimate area, not a halftime show. Frankie. Does Frankie think they really got like literally married right there, Sean? Is that what Frankie is really saying right now? Like they probably did not have already the whole ceremony with a real, like either a notary at the city hall or a priest already, and then this was kind of like kind of a facade type of thing. Like they probably got remarried there, Frankie, not actually married, Frankie. Oh, man. Big O, the best shows were U2 in 2001 and Prince, I believe, 2006. The Prince one in the rain can never be beaten. Can never be beaten. So yeah, and I love U2. U2 anywhere is great. Does not matter. It's one of the greatest bands ever. Period. End of story. Jamie Zoria in the house. Thank you, sir. He's smashing it. Pat Nashville says 135 million people watched the halftime show, a new record. Is that true? Is that the official thing? Yeah, that Bad Bunny. That was a bad decision. 135 million. Yeah. Yep. And 10 idiots watched Kid Rock. Yeah. Like, seriously. Like, do you go and brag the next day that you watched the Kid Rock show? Oh, man. That's fantastic. Let's see. Big Mouth Ralph. America complains about the Tom Petty halftime show. That's right. That's right. They did. Since they have given diversity and still complain. We've had The Weeknd, Rihanna, I enjoyed The Weeknd one. People hated The Weeknd one and the mirrors and the lights and all that. I'm one of the idiots that liked it. I mean, I like The Weeknd. I think he does a really nice job. I think he's a really good pop singer, dude. I think he does a really good job overall. He has good songs, but like people hated The Weeknd one. I actually liked it because it was opposite of Rihanna's. It was up close. It was personal. It was more connecting. The Rihanna one was so distant. You know what I mean? And I actually like Riri's music, but it just that show was just kind of odd. But yeah, I remember people complained about, dude, the same idiots that are complaining about Bad Bunny, they're at Cinco de Mayo, like drowning in alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, bro. Just a bunch of idiots. That's all. Everything is just like all politicized and all that kind of crap. So it's no big deal. It is what it is. Do you like Ricky Martin? Living La Vida Loca, whatever, right? Cup of Life. He did do the soccer song, but yeah, whatever, bro. I mean, no, not really. If overall for me, for Spanish music, it's going to be Mario Bausa. It's going to be Jesus Alemani. It's going to be Paquito de Rivera. It'll be a little Celia Cruz. It'll be, it'll be some stuff that's more classical, more instrumental. It'll be Conjunto Universal. It'll be like, it's just different. I don't like Spanish pop. You're not gonna get me listening to Pimpinela, Braulio and shit. That's not what I'm gonna listen to. It's just not. That's not my style. And just like I don't like Beyonce or Swift or any of that girly type music, I don't like Spanish pop either. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I go into Hispanic music, it's usually Cuban jazz or stuff like that requires a little bit more musicianship. And then that's what I'm more appreciating is the talent behind everything. You know what I'm saying? So my stuff that I would like is probably not played on radio or listened to in the general public when I'm jamming Spanish. If I'm jamming that kind of Spanish, but it's not going to be this kind of Spanish. It's not going to be Ricky Martin, and it's not going to be Bad Bunny, and it's not going to be stuff like that. Just not. You know what I mean? Might be some stuff that that's more classical that I might dance to, but it might be more influential as in musically, stuff like that. That's more my style. That's what I like. What else? Think Blue Dodgers is checking in and smashing it. Delvis, if Bo Nix played, they would have lost anyways. They would have lost. Nobody's beating Seattle this year, dude. Nobody was beating. Especially not in the AFC. Okay? If the Rams weren't beating Seattle, no one was beating Seattle. You needed a healthy San Francisco or the Rams to beat Seattle. No one in the AFC was beating Seattle. No one. Does not matter. No one in the AFC. I mean, sometimes some of you may be young, but you're going to have to live with it sometimes. Sometimes conferences will go on a run. And I don't know if this is the case or whatever, but that's just kind of what it was this year. And it used to be at times where like the AFC or the NFC would go on a run for years. And the NFC was going to win the title every year. It did not matter who went in the AFC because they just weren't good enough. You know, the stretch where the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl in the 80s, that was a stretch during the NFC takeover for many years that the AFC won, championships over and over again. They dominated the conference for a stretch. And yesterday kind of felt like that this year, this conference was not going to keep up with the AFC was not keeping up with the NFC. The NFC was the better conference. And shit, that one division is better than every. If San Francisco is healthy and the Rams and Seattle are healthy, they're better than the entire AFC. Hands down. It's not even close. It's not even close. I would take all three of them over any team in the AFC. Does not matter. Whoever you want to put in there, Broncos, whatever, I don't give a shit. They'd take them all down. That division was a bitch. And Shanahan, for me, was the coach of the year. Coach of the year. Guaranteed. Jessica Alba looks like her younger days. Well, she's divorced now, isn't she? Axel, Will Campbell. Yeah, Will Campbell had him, but he left and everything. He short-armed everybody from an interview. Let's see. Travis AM. Drake May sucks. Nah, he's young and he was up against the juggernaut. His line couldn't block and give him time. He missed some throws. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna chalk it up to your team was not ready to take on those guys. You're not good enough. That's all. Funny when Bam dunked on Ware. Yeah. Ware played well, at least in the Wizards game, dude. He got 30 minutes, which was good. 19 points, 14 rebounds, and a block. Well, I thought that was good. And Yakuchonis, in the 22 points, he went 6 of 6 from three-point range, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and he only had 1 turnover. To me, that's what stood out in all of that. We're going to talk to Ira here at the top of the hour. Okay? We'll get into that with Ira. My favorite commercial was the Jurassic Park and the Bud Light and Budweiser one. Those are all right. Let's see. The Dunkin' Donuts one. Oh, God, that was a terrible commercial. That was forced like crazy. I thought that was a terrible commercial. Joseph, we disagree on that one. Let's see. Come on, Big O. New England did not try anything different in the game. They thought the Hawks quarterback would turn the ball over. No, dude, no. They just were massively outplayed. We'll disagree on that one, my brother. We'll disagree definitely on that one. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donations. Send in your questions and comments and insults. Bernardo Joseph, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. Appreciate you. Hope all is well with you and your family. Oh, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you. Very kind. Very kind. Everything is fantastic. So can't complain overall, my friend. Only thing I need is to do the show with the Pacific Ocean as my backdrop. That's the only thing. That's when we'll complete the picture. Let's see what else. Daniel Guzman, good morning. Oh, boring game, lame halftime show. Truth be told, the Dolphins have about killed my interest in NFL football. I get it because it's hard to feel, that you're hopeful, right? You got to feed yourself a bunch of bullshit every year and every change and everything. Convince yourself, oh, they made the right decision and all that. I get it. All year cooling and plumbing, man, number one when it comes to Florida. They are Florida's number one AC and plumbing service. They've been at this now for 53 years. Okay. Tommy Smith Sr., rest in peace. Tommy Smith Jr. now taking over, running the place and doing an awesome job. Over 350,000 satisfied customers. They take care of folks from Homestead all the way to Vero Beach. And now we are over on the West Coast in Naples. 888-204-5554. That's 888-204-5554. Family owned and operated. Extended warranties, financing available, same-day installations, free repair estimates, 7-day-a-week service. Call them, man, and tell them that Big O sent you. 888-204-5554. All year cooling and plumbing. Thank you, guys out there. Now I got up to the part in the chat board where you guys are giving me the Daddy Yankees and the Panama stuff. Thank you. Very nice. Appreciate you all out there. Commercial best was Budweiser. That's what Will says. Let's see. I remember going to see El General T City Limits in Fort Lauderdale. Devin chiming in also, a little Daddy Yankee. They did get, they got married, but that's not the real marriage. You know what I'm saying? That's, it can't be an actual marriage, guys. It's not like an actual marriage. It's kind of like a fun marriage. They'll tell you that, but it can't be. They gotta really, you need to have like a real ceremony and all that. They didn't have time for that. That was like a little pop thing, They got married, but it was, kind of, So I don't know. Look up the story if you want. Was there? I didn't see a. Did you see a? Was there a priest that's saying and all that? I don't remember. Like, it's kind of quick for that to be a real marriage, bro. It doesn't make any sense for it to be a real marriage. Let's see what else. Mario Bauza legit. Well, that's it's real music, bro. That's kind of what that's what I'll listen to, and that's like a jam. That I love to listen to. Big O, when you move to Panama, you better start getting used to having reggaeton out on the streets while you're driving and all. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm sure when I go out and stuff, there'll be some music like that and Latin music all over the damn place. Not in my home. Not blasting out of the mountain on my side of the property. That it'll be a lot more creative. That's all I can tell you. The animals in the rainforest are going to be dancing to different kind of music from the Alzigari compound in the jungle. Okay? So that's all I can say. I just want to warn all the animals and insects in Panama that when I get there, well, Iron Maiden could be blasting. It's a possibility. They will literally be running to the hills. So it's just a possibility, My influence has got to also, kind of entrench itself there. So, yeah, we'll do that. We'll listen to the stuff that goes on in the country, of course, when we go out. Dance a little. I could do a little danzón, a little merengue, a little salsa with my wife. I have no problem with that, dude. You know how many 15s or 15s I danced back in the day? Woo, doggy. When I was young, if you weren't old enough to go to a disco or a club, what you did was you went to parties. Do they even do that nowadays? I doubt that, right? I doubt kids have the amount of parties that we had back in the day and the amount of quinces and all that kind of stuff. And so the quinces were fantastic because that's where you got to meet the ladies. And the good thing is you also, and if you got lucky, which I got I had many friends, thank the Lord. I was blessed. And I got picked many times to do the whole presentation, the quinces, the dancing and all that kind of stuff. And in those practices, that's where you're working the dentistry, and so that was, that was our clubs back in the day, parties and stuff like that. So I don't know how they do it now. What do they do? Just put get-togethers in different places and all that. I don't know how they do it now, because I don't think they do it like the traditional way that we used to do it. It was a little different back in those days. But the quinces were important. And at the same time, I was able to learn all the dances. So that was cool. And then I don't know, some of you may know, some of you may not know, but there is sex, right? And then there's foreplay. And foreplay comes in many different forms and fashion. Sure, it can happen in the bed. Foreplay could happen in a couch. Foreplay could also happen verbally. Foreplay could also happen on a dance floor. Foreplay is like a very interesting thing. Arousal can happen in many forms and fashion. Doesn't always have to be naked and physical. So, dancing is a form of foreplay. And if it's a great way to connect with someone else, and if you haven't felt that, well, if you didn't do much dancing in your life, well, then, I feel bad for you. But women like to dance. And if they find out you can dance, then I'm just telling you, it just becomes an easier life for you. Let me just put it that way, gentlemen. Okay? That's all I can tell you. What do you got for me, Sean Stanley?
Yes, an official, legally binding wedding took place during Bad Bunny's Apple Music halftime show, with Bad Bunny serving as a witness and signing the marriage certificate.
Did he do that all there?
I have to look. I'm trying to find out. I went through like 5 or 6 different ones just to verify.
In that performance, did you see all of that take place?
Well, apparently it was going on during the whole performance. And then when they got to him, the timing was for them to do the I do's at that point, I guess, and do the kiss.
Okay. All right.
So they do have a picture of a guy who looks like he's officiating during not when Bad Bunny's up there, but before that.
Okay. All right. So we don't see it. It's just some stuff that
just the timing once it got to that point was that one part there.
Right. We only see the part where Bunny comes by, and that's it.
Yes.
They have the proposal, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still weird.
Yeah. Well, remember they had the proposal when he was walking through the cane fields, right. And then the marriage is once he gets up to the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Although it's still kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know if you're legally doing it there, or it just kind of looks like it's legal and you're kind of saying it, and Hollywood is Hollywood, and so it makes it for a better story. I just kind of find it kind of weird. Lenny says, I listened to Roundabout by Yes for the first time yesterday. Wow. Okay. And let me tell you, that track took me through a journey in 8 minutes and 36 seconds. I was mesmerized. Yeah, of course, dude. When you listen to Yes and you listen to Steve Howe rip through and shred that guitar, yeah, that's wow. This is the first time you've listened to Roundabout? Damn. Okay, that is cool. So there's a lot of stuff that you can listen to in Yes if you like Roundabout. I just hope that young man's now I forgot which gentleman it was that his son's a musician. I hope he gets to listen to Yes, because that's stuff that you can really appreciate. Kansas and Yes and kind of stuff like that. The musicianship is just so elite. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, I know about the couple inviting Bad Bunny to their wedding, and then he invited them there. That I know about. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm saying they probably had their wedding. Why would they cancel the wedding with all their friends and family members, and they can't bring them all there? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of, it sounds nice, but it just, as the late great Mad Dog would say, I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. All right. Anyway, let's do it. Let's start off hour number 2 with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All righty. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was kind of hoping I would be on last Thursday to talk about the massive move the Heat made at the trade deadline. Instead, like Big O said on our Acura Pembroke Pines report last time, sometimes this requires patience, and that's where they are right now.
Yeah, I just don't know what the end game is, unfortunately, and the problem is I'm afraid they don't know what the end game is, and it just kind of seems like there's no real direction. It's kind of like they're trying to find a way to hop off, and they're just keep circling and waiting for that moment to jump off at the right time. And I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel with the franchise overall right now. That's my problem,
And the thing is, Big O, they've had so many hop off moments that they're just waiting for the next. They had the Alonzo Mourning hop-off moment when Pat Riley arrives, the Shaquille O'Neal hop-off moment when he was made available by the Lakers, the Big Three hop-off moment, the Goran Dragic hop-off moment, the Jimmy Butler hop-off moment. So because they've had them, they haven't had to build. They've just been there. Miami, weather, no state tax, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, they've had all of those allures. Times change. We say, you say, but sometimes you just wait for the next one. And you know what's going to happen?
Yeah, but the last two have not led any more to titles. The last two, the Goran and the Butler one, have not. The earlier ones, when the system was different, but the system has been evolving and changing along the way, and now it's even worse than it's ever been. I don't see there is no plan. In other words, there is no method behind their madness. Let me just put it that way.
And here's the thing. When I talk to Pat Riley about changes in the game, a lot of times he'll be very much against change. He's old school like us, Big O, and I get it. Talked about zone defense, then we need a 45-second shot clock. If the defense is going to pack it in, we need to work our offense. I get all of that. But right now, I'm going to say this, not as a Miami Heat beat writer, not as someone from down here. The current NBA system is horse shit for this reason. You should not have to suck for 3 or 4 or 5 years to get back to contention. And yet, in a lottery-based league, in a draft-based league, not free agency, not outsmarting, that's where we are. It sucks. It just sucks that you have to tell people, we're going to give you a crap product this year, next year, and the year after. Oh, but in 4 years, you're going to have a great time. Big O, who in their life has 4 years to put aside for something to wait? That's the problem with the NBA system.
Yeah, but here in the Heat's case, they're full of shit, and here's where I disagree with you on this.
Okay.
Brother, you've won for 25 years. You produced 3 titles. You've done a shit ton of winning. The system is different now. We're all pretty smart basketball fans. We see that we no longer can follow sports. We have to follow sports and the sports business behind it because it affects the sports. And, you see how the Dolphins have a whole bunch of dead cap money because they do all kinds of stupid shit. Okay, well, you continue to do stupid shit now. Meanwhile, here's Detroit taking those steps back, and they're better, and San Antonio and OKC and Houston. And, everybody likes to point to the failures of Philadelphia, but there's others that are succeeding doing it in that direction. And just because that's not the way the Heat used to do it doesn't mean you're above it. It means you're ignorant. You refuse to change. And that's the part that continues to set you back as a franchise. You refuse to change with the times. If that's what it calls for, that you've got to take a reset for 3, 4, 5 years.
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah. But you know what's longer?
Time.
Yeah, but you know what's longer? All these years here in the play-in where you're not going anywhere anyways for 3, 4, 5 years. So all this time you could have spent resetting. Instead, you're chasing your tail around in the play-in and in the play-in and the play-in.
I understand. And your examples
because
of Detroit and San Antonio and OKC, they were terrible. Remember, Detroit had that 23-game losing streak. Here's my point. Big O, let's
paid off. It paid off. It paid off to suck.
Let's pull back the curtain for a second. Big O, remember when you were young and you would go to games with your parents and you just wanted to see a win in that game? You didn't know about salary cap, long-term playoff race. You said, hey, let's go to the ballpark. Let's have some fun. The way the Heat are doing it now, I know it's mediocre, but at least half the time you can go with your dad, you can go with your kids and have a good time. What you are saying is, I need to drag my kids to games for 3 years of utter misery so in year 4 we can celebrate. It's a crappy way to live.
You're phrasing it in the worst way possible, which is not accurate. Okay, because let's say you do tank, and let's say you end up in the lottery and you end up with a young star. That becomes exciting right from the get-go. Even if you're losing and you're not doing great, the development of that young star becomes exciting overall. And what you're telling me is what Mickey Harrison's been telling me for a while now. I'm a billionaire that refuses to take 8 steps back because I may lose some seats and not make as much money, but I'd rather bullshit the fans by giving them a half-ass product that just teases them just enough to come to the arena, but really in the end always be the bridesmaid and never the bride. That to me is chasing your tail, my brother.
Other business.
Instead of going to the play in the last 3, 4 years here, in the next 3 to 4 years now, I'd rather you suck for 3, 4 years and go in the lottery and maybe fish out a couple of stars, and then all of a sudden your fortunes will change in a big time way.
You know what? But I don't remember many Heat fans when Sid Powell and Stephon Lasme and Blake Ahern were out there who were going, oh, this is going to lead to something good. I think they were going, come on, you got to cut the price on beer or something. This is awful.
Those aren't lottery picks, Ira. Come on.
Okay. No, I'm saying is when they were playing to get the lottery pick. That's who they were playing to get Michael Beasley, they thought Derrick Rose. That's when they did that, and it was awful. What I'm saying is this, Big O, I don't disagree with you. This is the system. You have to work within the system. Just like when you were on terrestrial radio, you had to deal with the salespeople, you had to do the appearances, you had to do all the BS because it's
breaks that kill the momentum of every goddamn thing you do.
And I get it. The 20-minute commercials, I was there in the studio with you. I get that. But sometimes the system becomes too onerous. What I'm saying is the NBA has a problem because we saw it yesterday in Washington. They were so happy when they were losing. Anytime anyone played good, they took them out. I'll give you another example. The Utah Jazz are at Kaseya Center tonight. They're playing the Orlando Magic, a team the Heat is fighting for playoff positioning. Into the third quarter, they're up 7 in Orlando. Larry Markkinen and Jaren Jackson Jr. have 49 points at that time. What did they do in the fourth quarter? Neither of them played. Orlando came back and beat Utah. Your sport, the sporting world, has to be better than that. You can't do that and say we're a competitive product. The system is flawed. The Heat are trying to work through the system with dignity and grace. What you're saying is 1,000% correct. You can't have dignity and grace in a system this convoluted. That sucks. You're right, but that sucks.
But play the game, baby. Play the game. Don't don't complain about it. Play the game. Everyone else that you're watching is passing you by. Orlando's passing you by because they played the game. They sucked and they found some stars, and now you're the second-rate team in the state. Play the game. You're not changing it.
You're not wrong, but it's a shame.
I know, but we're not changing the way things go, dude. What are you going to do? And that, to me, is the ignorant part of the ownership, and Riley to a lesser extent, because I don't know. I understand their way of thinking, but I'm sure this is more powered by the ownership group than anyone else, you know.
I think it's more fueled by pride and what they believe. What they believe is the right thing, which you may not believe. And Big O, I'm not going to go to specifics here because I never want to cost you a dime. But there are probably certain types of advertisers you wouldn't take. We're not going to say what they are because you don't believe in their messaging, whether it's political, whether it's something else, and you can back off. You have that right. And you make less money because of it. And we all make moral judgments in life. The Heat have made a moral judgment. Their moral judgment is we cannot lose on purpose because it's wrong. You are correct that in the NBA to succeed, you have to lose on purpose. That's freaking crazy, even though you're right.
I know, but what the hell are you going to do, man? Don't let the system run you over. Take advantage of the damn system. Now, on the bright side,
okay, thank you.
That was a nice game by Yakuchonis.
Yeah, there's a future there. It's interesting. As Ira Winderman was packaging every young player last week for Giannis, as Orlando Alzagari was calling Ira Winderman an idiot for doing that, there was the real push-pull and weighing of your future versus, like Big O likes to say, a 31-year-old injury-prone player who might not have a future, who wants an extension. All correct. The kids are fun, and the kids are fine, and this is interesting. And what I like about Eric Spoelstra, and he talked about this before the game in Boston and in Washington, he's not forcing minutes to guys. You still have to earn it. So when Nikola Jovic is awful, he didn't play yesterday. And instead, Khalil and Bam played together because they earned those minutes together. Khalil got his double-double. Same thing with Kasparis. He didn't play in Boston. Drew Smith got the time. Yesterday, Kasparis gets the opportunity. 6 for 6 on threes. The future is bright, except for what you say, the lack of that superstar. And you're right. You can have all the Yakachonises you want and Hawkinses you want and Wares you want. But until you airlift in that star like Detroit did with Cade Cunningham, you're going to be off. Here's the opposite of that. There is one other option, plan B. Find the right and perfect free agent, and I'll give you the example. The New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson. They didn't do it through the draft, but they found the right guy at the right time. So that also is possible.
Yeah. By the way, again, building on that, the youngin, not just the 6 for 6, 6 assists, 1 turnover. Okay. Because to me, that's really important because he's a ball handler and he's a creator. And so you want to see that, but you also want to see him making good decisions and taking care of the basketball. And the efficiency was also sick. And
he's fun. And he's fun.
Oh, he's got skills, man. There's no doubt that he's got some skills. And it was nice to see Ware get 30 minutes because he probably earned the damn 30 minutes and he was playing smart and keeping up with most of his responsibility. Because if you really follow him, you'll see him screw up quite a bit. And then you can see why Spo gets, frustrated and then, sits his ass on the bench. And so when he gets to 30 minutes, it's because he earned those 30 minutes. And, it's not, you just hope he kind of breaks through that glass ceiling of consistency.
And the one thing I want to say about all these picks is this, because Big O is a big lottery guy. And we started the show with that, except this. I can make an argument that the Heat drafting 15 to 20, Khalil Ware, Kasparis Yakuchonis, Jaime Jaquez have probably done as well as half the teams who have picked in the lottery because the Heat scouting is off the charts. Adam Simon, Keith Askins, Eric Amsler, what they've done on the road. So you have to give the Heat credit because you know what? Middling in the lottery, 8 through 14, there's no guarantees there. Most of the time you don't get something. So at least give the Heat credit if they're going to say no to the lottery because it's who they are. They still turn 15 to 20 into what a lot of teams turn 5 to 15. So give them credit. They found the pieces. Where? Hopkins, Yakachonis. They found those pieces, and at least they're advancing the youth. And then it comes down to airlifting that one player. Your perspective is through the draft. Don't disagree. Look at Cooper Flagg. Look at Konkanippel and what he's doing in Charlotte. You can do it the other way, the Jalen Brunson way. It's harder. You have to find the right guy. Goran was sort of that guy. Jimmy was almost that guy.
And it's hard to, those guys don't become available unless you're the Dallas Mavericks that wants to let go of your 2 stars just for, hey, just for shits and giggles. You go ahead and do that because that's what they did. Luka for one and Brunson for the other. I mean, but that's what we're waiting for. To me, it makes no sense, man. And it's sad because I think that if you find that star, you're actually developing all the core players around it right now. And that's the interesting part.
You're right. They have to have the complementary pieces and not the person to complement. You're absolutely right. Their thought is they will find that guy and don't have to go to the bottom. Your way is the easier way. When you go to the bottom, your odds increase exponentially.
You just backed up my point by saying Simon and the guys are doing good where they're at in the draft, or
Correct.
kind of maximizing where they're at in the draft. But you could get the same guys and say, okay, guys, now let's see if we give you a top 5 pick. How good can you get for us? Can you get one of those stars? And that would be really, really nice.
And you only get that top 5 pick to go through the bullshit that the Wizards and the Jazz and everyone else are going through.
I have no problem going through that.
So let me ask you this, Big. Let me ask you this. I want to interrupt you for a second. Let me ask you this. We do our Acura Pembroke Pines report every week.
You got a super chat here. The man is paying here. Give him an opportunity. He says, Big O is right on the money. I'd be ecstatic watching the Heat take a few steps back if it meant they have a plan. But the Heat I see now is a franchise without a plan or direction. He feels exactly like I do.
And Super Chatter, I understand except for this. If the Heat lose their next 10 games, you'd be fine with that, Big O? You'd be fine with that, Super Chatter?
I'd be fine if we're doing what I want to do. I'm not fine if we're losing 10 because you have Bam and Tyler and Powell and all that. If you're losing with young guys, I have no problem with that because I'm watching Yakuchonis develop. I'm watching Jaime. I'm watching all the young guys, maybe Jovic.
Right.
Kalel. All these guys are going to get a ton of playing time because they've got to fight through all of this shit. What I don't want is to lose 10 with all these other guys, because that just tells me and it reminds me we're here at 28 and 26. Like, you're nothing. And why are you nothing? Because this is what you have right now. So I'd rather play Pallel Larson and all of that and watch those young guys and work my way to the lottery. I can deal with that. I'm good. Ira, what kind of a spoiled idiot are you out there in this world that they gave you a quarter of a century of amazing basketball? They have to take a couple of steps back. It's our job as fans to say, hey man, we're supportive of this. They gave us 25 golden years. This is the new way of doing things in the NBA. We all have to understand that as fans, and we all got to suck it up and deal with it and not act like a bunch of spoiled brats that every year has to be that you're in the title run. That's not reality. And so let's take a couple of steps back. The Heat have given us more than enough. I've told you this many, many times. They're the only team that's earned this mulligan.
I understand that. And we have 20,000 people. They announce a sellout every game. Probably another 60, at least 80,000 watching on television. Big O, you can be level-headed. God bless you. Your super chatter is level-headed. God bless him, and God bless him for being a super chatter. But what actual percentage of Heat fans do you think you can sell what you just try to sell me that they'll still stay on board? You think a lot? I'm not sure based on what I get in my mailbag every day at Ask Ira.
I think what you're doing now is you're destroying the trust you've developed. But if you actually nip this in the bud now, you still have everybody's trust. And you can tell them, folks, this is how things are done in the NBA. We have to go through this, but it's going to be exciting because when we do get into that lottery, we're going to be able to go after young stars, and hopefully we're going to bring that young star. And I think Heat fans would be more motivated by that. But if you continue doing this and you sign Whiteside and Dion Waiters and you make the Lowry trade and you have the disaster with Jimmy and everything that's gone on, right. It's in Terry and everything. It all starts building up. And now you're actually taking away all the good that you did. Now you're destroying all the trust that you've had for 25 years because now you're looking old and you're looking like you're completely out of tune. And that's what everybody's watching and seeing right now because nobody wins the way the Heat used to win. They're all building through youth, and we're watching it with San Antonio and OKC, just like we watched the Rams and Seattle play the Super Bowl in the in the NFC. We have been watching the NBA Finals between San Antonio and OKC, and they built it through youth. Things have changed. We all are educated on this. Those that get off the bandwagon, those are the uneducated ones. But I would think that the last 25 years, I think the Miami or the South Florida basketball fan is a little smarter than they used to be.
What I'll say to that is, if you go that way, you have to go all in. So as I speak to you now, 5 days after the trade deadline, and you know this, and our Acura Pembroke Pines report, I've advocated this. They should have traded Wiggins for draft capital. They should have traded Powell for draft capital. Not Hero now, just for the reason his value is so low. It's like your Bitcoin. You have to wait till it comes back up. I get all that. But they didn't. And so now you have a roster stuck in the middle. That's the problem. I think they missed an opportunity at the trade deadline. Not for Giannis, not for John Morant, but for saying, hey, Norman, 32. Hey, Andrew Wiggins, 31 years old. We're moving in a different direction. So if the big O plan is to do what you said, it has to be all in. And like you said, there is no halfway. And then as a fan, I'll know, I'm not seeing Norman Powell tonight. I'm not seeing Andrew Wiggins tonight. I'm not seeing Simone Fontecchio tonight. And at least I know it. This halfway plan, like again, the other day in Boston, everyone said, the trade deadline's over. No more Simone Fontecchio. We're going to see the kids. No, you saw Simone Fontecchio and you're seeing him in your starting lineup. And all of a sudden you don't know which way. So I agree. If you're going to go all in, message you're going all in, buy your moves. They did not do that at the trade deadline.
So disappointed in that. So disappointed. All right. How worried should we be about Pallel Larson?
You know what? He's going to get his bangs and bruises. The thing is, he went for an MRI in Washington. It's just a contusion. He will be back so much faster, possibly even tonight against Utah, if not against New Orleans on Wednesday, the last game before the All-Star break. I'm never worried about him because he's been banged and bruised so many times and he keeps bouncing back up. And like I wrote in today's Sun Sentinel, he's such a connector. When he's out there, they're just so much of a better team.
Yeah, glue guys, man. You need those kind of guys. You got to have those kind of guys. Like I watched last night, Mac Hollins, who I freaking love when he was here with Miami.
Right.
That's a guy that was never going to break your salary cap ever, but you can pay him, and he's great for your team overall as a glue guy, and that's what he was for. He made the only play for New England in the damn passing game. You know, I just think you need those kind of guys, and I think Larson is important. Now, have you researched Lloyd's of London for face surgery?
No, where are you going with this?
Pallel Larson, he needs face surgery. I'm sorry, face insurance, not surgery.
Yes, he does. Or else he needs that. What was that John Travolta, Nicolas Cage movie where they just swap faces? So at worst, they'll just tell another player, "Hey, give me your face. Get back out there."
What was the babe on Entertainment Tonight that she had her legs like insured by Lloyd's of London?
Mary Hart with the legs.
Had those legs. So I'm just saying, Pallel Larson and his agent should probably call Lloyd's of London and find out a little insurance for the face there, because he's getting hit by his teammates now too at the same time. So that, now
probably the shock yesterday was that Bam didn't dunk on Pella and just dunked on Khalil. I'm sure it's coming for Pella, right?
Right, exactly. So Pallel has to understand that everybody's coming at him now, even his own teammates. I think he's got to look out for himself there with some insurance. That's all. I'm just saying. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel? So folks,
I just had fun today with Bam dunking on Khalil because in the midst of an 82-game grind and awful weather in Washington, if you can't sit back and enjoy a moment like that, nobody's business. We get in the locker room after the game. Khalil goes to me, "Don't you dare ask anyone about the dunk." I ask every single person in the locker room about the dunk. It was good fun. Sometimes you got to sit back and smile. It was a hell of a moment. It was a hell of a reaction.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's the kind of crap that just, you got to roll
time. Yeah.
All right, follow them on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and of course, support our friends there at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, where they've got the 2026 Integra, $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 ADX, $239 a month, 1.9% financing for 60 months. Acuras are built here in America, by the way. RDX, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. And the TLX Tech 2025 models still have a few, $389 a month. That's a crazy price, 3.9% financing for 60 months. Tell them that Big O sent you at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Ira, we will catch up next week, my friend. Thank you.
On our All-Star Break special. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Big O, the Super Bowl definitely shows the caliber team we need to strive and become. Seahawks did it right. I hope Patriots now parallel Dolphins in the 80s. Choke. Could we be witnessing a change in the AFC East for Dolphins to return to the throne? Well, this is what I'll tell you. And, you know, the headline on the show today says the Super Bowl proves where the Miami Dolphins constantly get it wrong. And this is kind of where Stephen Baker right now, where I want to kind of touch on what you're talking about, because watching the Super Bowl reminds you of where the Dolphins fail on a consistent basis, always. And when they had Marino, they never had a defense like you saw there. You know, and when they actually had a defense, they didn't have a quarterback. You know, bless Jay. I'm a Jay fan, but, you know, you needed a little bit more than Jay, unfortunately. Jay was a decent game manager at best, but you needed a little bit more to kind of get you over the hump there, unfortunately. And that's been the problem for the Miami Dolphins and why they are so far away from ever being a Super Bowl champion. And the silly people that you listen to or read about in the media are the ones that focus on a quarterback right away. And you could go get your quarterback and you can go do that stupid shit or sign, you know, Malik Willis, and you're not going anywhere. If you don't have a culture in place, if you don't have a team in place, and if you don't have a nasty defense, you're not winning. You're just not winning. And that should be proven over and over again. Miami hasn't had a nasty defense since the early 2000s. And unfortunately, then they didn't have the rest of the puzzle on the other side, or I would even say on the sidelines, because I don't even think you had the right coach either. So, and you didn't really have the right culture also. This is a really difficult puzzle to build. And this is why Miami struggles to build that puzzle every year. And you go look at what you saw in that division alone in the NFC West. That's what Miami has to resemble. If they don't have a big, physical, nasty defense, if they don't have an offensive line, New England didn't have it. Will Campbell was just not ready at that moment, and he ended up getting housed the entire day, and that line got used and abused. And how many times did you hear on the broadcast, well, they're doing this all with 4 men. If you can't block 4 men, you've got no choice. And, you're 5 guys and you can't block 4. That's bad news, dude. That's bad news. And that's why the kid was screwed at that time, because the 4 guys, somebody was getting freed constantly, including the guy that was playing in front of Will Campbell getting freed all the time. So if Miami doesn't resemble anything like that, which they haven't in decades, don't ever expect the Dolphins to be a Super Bowl champion. The stupid shit about talking about Malik Willis when you don't have a culture, you don't have an offensive line, you don't have a defensive line, you don't have a great defense, you don't have great coaching, you don't have a great front office, you don't have anything in place. Am I hoping Sully's the guy? Hell yeah, I'm hoping Sully is the guy. I hope Half is the guy too. But right now, we can't say they are. They've done nothing. They've never proven anything as leaders. So we're waiting like we've been waiting for decades now. But just look at what went on in the field and how good you have to be on every side of the football, how good your coaching staff has to be. It's not just the quarterback, dude. And somebody was tweeting out about 2 Jet players, the D lineman and the quarterback, that are now world champions with Seattle, but they were world champions with the Jets. And it was Manish Mehta. And I retweeted back that when you're a bad team like the Dolphins and the Jets, it doesn't matter how many great or good players you have. If you don't have the culture in place, if you don't have the team in place, those good or great players will fail. Just like Tim Bowens failed, just like you name it. Zach Thomas failed, and everybody else, Cam Wake failed, and they all failed. Why? Because it's not their fault. It's just they ended up joining a team that didn't have the coaching, the front office, the culture, the real team in place. You think it was Tim Bowen's fault? Shit. You think it's Jason Taylor's fault? Get out of here, bro. It's not Cam Wake's fault. We've had some really good players come here, unfortunately. But if they don't have the support, this is what we get, dude. And that's why the Jets are the Jets. That's why the Dolphins are the Dolphins. That's why the Browns are the Browns. That's why these bad organizations continue to be what they are. And last time I checked, I don't know, Sean, does Cleveland have the best pass rusher in the NFL? Oh, they do. Oh, okay. So what does he win? Does he win anything? Outside of personal awards, does he win anything? Yeah. Will he? No. No, he's never going to win anything because he's a Cleveland Brown. And that's the dilemma that we're stuck as Miami Dolphins fans. It's not about one individual position. It's about the overall franchise. And until you fix the franchise, players will come and go. And any idiot out there that thinks, oh, we got to go get the next quarterback because that's going to solve all our problems. No, it's not, dude. No, it's not, because you can see all the other bad franchises that their quarterbacks fail and then go somewhere else to go succeed. That tells you that it's your franchise, not the quarterback. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, was at Heat Wizards game with my son next to the Heat bench, and the only only nice Heat players to him were Jaquez, Gardner and Kasparis, Mitchell and Jovic. Everyone else, including Spur, were quite assholish. Well, I don't know. I mean, they're in the Leon, you're in the bench, they're in a game. You know, I don't like bothering people during their job. So I would not judge anybody during that moment. You know what I'm saying? If you see them out on the street, if you see them at an event and they're assholish, then I would get it. But, sometimes you have to kind of respect and also take inventory of the environment you're in, a little awareness. So being behind the bench doesn't really, it doesn't give you any kind of right to expect somebody to be nice to you in the middle of their job. I could see people that work and they're intense and they don't want to be bothered at the moment while they're working. You know what I'm saying? So I would reserve judgment on that, to be quite honest. Having been in this business for as long as I have, you messing with athletes on game day, before the game or during the game, it's not something that I would suggest. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of like when somebody's eating, you go ask them for an autograph. That's freaking rude as shit. Wait till the check is picked up and they're walking out or something, then you can approach them. And if somebody is rude to you or not happy that you interrupted them while they're working or eating, I don't have a problem with them being a little short with you, or maybe even assholish, as you would put. So, put yourself in somebody else's shoes sometimes. In those moments, there's a lot of people that don't want to be bothered, So I would reserve judgment on that one. Let's see. Basketball nowadays sucks from high school to the pros. Every player wants to be a three-point shooter. Yeah, no, the game has suffered for sure. Yeah. True Fin Fan says a dominant defensive line not only won the game last night, but what we saw what it did to Brady 2 times in the Super Bowl, and that's Tom Brady. This kid wasn't ready for the moment. No, bro. Who's ready to face 4 junkyard dogs like that, dude? Nobody's ready for that shit. And that, True Fin Fan, exceptional point. That's what the Giants had. They had 4-man rush that just killed New England, but they had 5 rushers to rotate with those 4 because they had a 5th guy that would come in and out. Okay. Was it Osi Umenyiora or whatever? Wasn't it like Strahan the starter and Umenyiora was coming off the bench or some shit like that? He was like the 5th guy or who was it? It was like a really good player was the 5th guy. But yeah, they had 5 guys and it was nasty. And it was just a 4-man rush that was unblockable. Great point. It's not that, oh my God, Drake May sucks and he wasn't ready for this, right? No, dude, it's just nobody was going to be ready for Seattle. Seattle's just a bitch. And give them credit. They're awesome. Tommy Mayer, good afternoon to you, sir. Or good morning. Let's see. We were spoiled by Michael Magic Bird. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Likely 3 years minimum from serious contention, and that's if everything goes right. Yes, I agree. If everything goes right. Ted is in the house. Trent, we will never be a serious contender. We have an ass clown as an owner. Our culture will never change. It's easy to believe that because that's kind of what he's done. That's what he's produced. Leon Fresco says, after the game, they refuse to be nice after the game. Where like on the bench there, yeah, you gotta give it a minute. Yeah. You gotta get them after, like, after the locker room and all that kind of stuff, after they've cooled down. It's not, that's why the media doesn't even go into the locker room right after the game. There's a cooling down period. So yeah, it's tough. After games, they're intense and they're, and so it's things like that. You got to kind of, it's tough, man. That's not a good scenario to be facing players at that moment. Some guys are all right, and a lot of guys can be kind of, pissy about it. So be careful with that kind of stuff. I think the Dolphins have in place now this draft will tell me a lot about these guys in the front office. I don't know. I don't think it's about the draft. It's more than that. It's about free agency, draft. It's about free agent, undrafted free agents. It's about development. It's about how you handle in-game situations and preparation. There's a lot of things that goes into measuring it, Dave. Sometimes somebody can draft, but they can't coach and develop. Sometimes some people can't draft, but they can develop. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes they excel in one area, but fail in others. You got to be everything. You got to be a CEO. If you're the head coach, you got to be a coach. You got to be a communicator. You got to be a delegator. You got to be able to handle everything. You got to be able to handle all the different kinds of personalities. It takes a special person to be a head coach because you just can't be one way. You're going to have to be very flexible for the different situations that you're going to face. Juan Rosa, it's like the day Alex Hanold was climbing the skyscraper. I felt that they should or never allow anyone trying to get his attention. I did not agree with that very much. Oh, yeah, that's right. The people in the windows and all that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of but he was all right with it. That dude that's one cool customer, bro. That is one cool customer, man. Big O, where are you watching the Super Bowl when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson? I think I was home. I was home for that one. I was home rewinding. What was that? Anyway, let's see. I believe it was OC. Okay, I think so. And then Justin Tuck. Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah. Maybe I think it was OC because it was Tuck and Strahan, and then OC took over when Strahan left right after. I think. Yeah. Anyway, either way, it was 5 guys that they had in that 4-man rotation, and it was wicked, dude. Wicked. Would you start Ewers this year? Trent, I don't know, dude. Can we watch the offseason, training camp, the preseason, get a feel? Who do they bring in for competition? Do they draft a kid in the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds that surprises? Do they bring in a veteran? I have no idea. That's a hypothetical that has no answer because you got to give me everything so I can actually – I got to have all the proof and everything so I can determine, what's real and what's Memorex, So right now there's no substance to that question, unfortunately. What else? It might be prudent for the Finns to trade their 1st-round draft pick down this year. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know who's going to be there at number 11. I right now I haven't even looked at that or worried about it, to be quite honest. And I don't know if it's worth moving down, my friend. Don't know right now. So we shall see. All right. What else do we have to talk about? So let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Remember Alan Blanco. You can call him for custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. And you can do all of this by email, Zoom, all that kind of stuff, which is normally the way it's done, and they can have it shipped to you right away. 786-618-1443. Super Bowl. Seattle Seahawks win their 2nd title, and it's 12 years removed from their last title, so the 12th man enjoyed themselves as they beat New England 29-13. Kenneth Walker gets the MVP as he rushes 27 times for 135 yards, 2 receptions for 26 yards. The defense dominated, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble recovery. In basketball, the Miami Heat, the panacea everybody needs. A sorry-ass Washington Wizards 14-38. Miami wins 132-101. Powell with 21, but he did get banged up. Bam with 22, 8, and 5 steals. Yakuchonis had 22 points on 6 of 6 shooting from three-point range. He also had 6 assists and 1 turnover. And how about Khalil Ware? He played 30 minutes, 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 1 block shot tonight. They take on the Wizards again at 7:30. Nothing like playing a shitty team to build up that record. Panthers, by the way, are off till February 26th versus Toronto, enjoying the break, the Olympic break. Dallas over the Fort Lauderdale United on Saturday. Ouch, 4-0. They'll be back in action this Saturday against Brooklyn FC at 7:30. Let's go, ladies. Get your tickets at FTLUTD.com. Support the Fort Lauderdale United. And it was cool to see a bunch of you out there on Saturday. That was cool. That was good. Thanks for fishing me down when I was walking around the first half there. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, and UM beat BC on Saturday, 74-68. Malik Renault with 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Shelton Henderson, by the way, added 19 points and 6 rebounds. Tomorrow, they will take on UNC, number 14 UNC, at 7 o'clock. All right. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. Always appreciate it. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, can you tell me why the Pats went for a 2-point conversion down by 3 scores with 3 minutes to go? That one move ruined my celebration. I think they were just trying to limit it to, I think it made it, at that score, it made it to 2 scores, 15 points or something. I forgot what the math is, but that's kind of what they were trying. They were playing that math game either way, dude. That game was over. They were lucky they got that one time. To me, that touchdown happened because Seattle kind of let their guard down a little bit, and then they got their shit together, and the rest is history. But it's hard to explain that, you know? Hard to explain that one. But they were playing the math game while they were doing the 2-point conversion because they thought it could, you know, shorten the distance between them by scores and 2-point conversions down the line and all that kind of crap. So either way, that game was over. You knew it was over right away when they got that other touchdown. That was like, come on, man. This thing is done. History in the archives. What else do we have on the show? By the way, Joe Montana, congratulations to him. He knows how to flip a coin. Some people, I don't know. Anyway, talked about the commercials. I like the golf caddy. The golf caddy had every golf club for every moment. I thought that one was kind of funny. We talked about the halftime show. We talked about the Orange Idiot. He complained completely about the halftime. Never watched the Bad Bunny one. He made a post. Never watched the Kid Rock one. He made a post completely about Bad Bunny. It's like, weren't you supposed to watch the Kid Rock one? Let's see. What else? Oh, did you see Jake Paul, Sean? What did you see about Jake Paul? Just out of curiosity. Tell me.
Was it the comments about the fake Puerto Rican?
Right. What else?
And then he went and said his account got hacked, or so he sent out another tweet saying he didn't know what was going on about it.
No. He wanted to clarify. No. Okay, so this guy took a shot at calling Bad Bunny a fake citizen. Okay. Did you know that Jake Paul has a $20 million mansion in Puerto Rico?
Oh, yeah, he's there because he doesn't have to pay on it.
So you're trashing Puerto Rico's biggest star, and you live on the island? Good luck with that one.
Well, also, as the show started, he sent out, guys, I love Bad Bunny. I don't know what happened on my Twitter last night. WTF.
Yeah, right. He goes, to clarify, I wasn't calling anyone a fake citizen because they're from Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico, and I love Puerto Rico. I've used my platform to support Puerto Rico time and time again, and will always do. But if you're publicly criticizing ICE, who are doing their job openly, hating on America, I'm going to speak on it, period. That's the same reason I called out Hunter Hess. See, the problem with Jake Paul, the fucking moron that he is, and like a lot of you losers that think the same way, dude, people can criticize the government all they want. Okay? We had plenty of people criticizing the government back in the Vietnam War. This is nothing new. The only thing that's new now is that there's a cult going on, and one guy that's a butthurt bitch about everything. Everything. We made fun of Ford falling or being an idiot. We made fun of Carter. We made fun of Bill Clinton and his I don't inhale stuff, and I didn't have sex with her. We made fun of Reagan. We made fun of Bush Sr. with no new taxes. We have constantly been against things that the government has done for decades, dude. And people openly criticize the government, and it's all right. But only in this administration, it is not. It is a vengeful act here. Here, if you criticize, now we have to counter with something financially, fiscally, or something socially to hurt you because you cannot have a difference of opinion. And Jake Paul wants to live, like a fascist government where you can't actually complain or disagree with anything and everything that's going on. And in this country, you can disagree with anything and everything going on openly. But unfortunately, nowadays, you can't, because now you have culters like this idiot that then thinks that you can't when you can. That's the rights that we have fought for forever. That's why people have given up their lives. That's why we're free, because you're supposed to be able to openly talk free. So if you don't like what the government is doing, you can openly criticize the government. So if you don't like ICE or whatever, that's not a bad thing. That's an American thing. What's un-American is what Jake Paul and others in the cult are doing. That's the un-American part. Anyway, un-American is some orange little bitch ripping an athlete because the athlete disagrees with what's going on, which that's gone on forever. And what's more pathetic is those of you that follow and think along the same lines. So I guess you want to live in a communist-like society that you can't openly speak against anything, government or anything else. It's pretty scary stuff that you guys are walking along, So watch yourselves. Watch yourselves. You're not going to like what you're asking for. That's all I can tell you. Don't be a dumbass like Jake Paul. At least he's smart, because there's a lot of stupid people that follow him and support him. So it's good. Good for him, because he's definitely a dumbass mofo. And those of you that think like that, truth's been spoken. All right, let's get to our music segment. Let's start off with those born on the 9th. All right, let's start off with musicians born on the 9th. Come on. All right. Holly Johnson, artist, musician, writer, member of the Liverpool-based group Big in Japan, and Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax, don't do it. What else? And he was born in 1960. Dennis Thomas, singer with Kool and the Gang, born in 51. Joe Eli, singer, songwriter, and guitarist who toured with The Clash in the late 70s, was a one-time member of Linda Ronstadt's band, born in 47. Major Harris, singer from the R&B group The Delphonics, born in 47. The great, the amazing, the phenomenal Hall of Fame, Carole King, baby, born in 42. So good, so good, so good. Let's see. And that is it for musicians born on this date. Let's go with famous people born on the 9th. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means that they have passed away, unfortunately. All right. Writer Brendan Behan, born in 1923. Television journalist Roger Mudd, born in 1928. Actor Joe Pesci, born in 43. He's 83 today. Bless him. Actress Mia Farrow, born in 45. She's 81. Actor Charles Shaughnessy, born in 55. He's 71. Astronaut Peggy Whitson, born in 60, 66. Musician Travis Tritt. Yeah. You ever notice that Tritt sings like with that voice and the jaws moving and all that? Travis Tritt, 63. He's 63. Gaston Brown, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, born in 67. He's 59. Jewish Sports Hall of Fame figure skater Irina Slutskaya, born in 79. She's 47. Musician Richard Ahn from OAR, born in 79. He's 47. Actor David Gallagher, born in 85. He's 41. Actor Michael B. Jordan, born in 87. He's 39. Actress Kelly Burlung, born in 96. She's 30. And actress Isabel Gomez, born in 98. She's 28. Bless him. So young. All right, here we go. Let's move. I'm sorry. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Drilla Maloney is 29. Shelly Martinez turns 46. And Medusa, Alundra Blaze in the WWE, turned 63 on February 9th, 2026.
How do those snakes get fed? And where do they release what they eat?
She was a monster truck driver as well when she left WCW. She went to drive monster truck.
Yeah. So, I've always figured that Medusa has a lot of shit in her head. Because if those snakes eat, they've got to deposit something somewhere.
So you're saying she's shit for brains?
She is shit for brains, Medusa. Yeah. So, just saying. Inquiring minds want to know. These are things that I just, I sit back and wonder. Those snakes, where do they dump? It's, it's interesting. All right, let's go with music history. What happened today in music history? Well, in 1970, The Doors released their 5th studio album, Morrison Hotel. In 81, Bill Haley died of a heart attack at his home in Harlingen, Texas. Haley had sold more than 60 million records during his career. He scored the 55 U.S. and UK #1 single, Gonna Rock Around the Clock Tonight. He became known as the first rock and roll star. In 85, Madonna started a three-week run at #1 on the U.S. album charts with Like a Virgin. Ho! Let's see. In 91, CNC Music Factory started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Gonna Make You Sweat. And let's see, who do we go with? We'll go with 2004. Scottish rock band Franz Ferdinand released their self-titled debut UK album. And then it was a UK release following March 9th. The Energetic Lads recorded the collection of danceable post-punk in 2003 in Sweden, led by the infectious single Take Me Out. The album went on to win a 2004 Mercury Prize and would be nominated for Best Alternative Album at the Grammy Awards. They're good, Franz Ferdinand. They're good. Let's see who else. In 2018, released on this date, Kendrick Lamar curated and produced Black Panther. The album, the soundtrack for Marvel Studios' Black Panthers. It features the singles All the Stars, King's Dead, and Pray for Me. And by the way, just for the hell of it, Franz Ferdinand in 2018 released her 5th studio album on this date, Always Ascending, with the singles Always Ascending, Feel the Love Go, Lazy Boy, and Glimpse of Love. Might as well make it a Franz Ferdinand day, right? In 2022, Snoop Dogg bought Death Row Records, the label that pays me. So there you go. And let me see if there's any stuff here, music history. Oh, Alberto Vargas, a famed painter of American pinup art whose works also included the cover of the Cars' 1979 album, Candy O, was born on this date in 1896. Candy O, if I remember, is the girl laying back on the guitar, right? Pull up the Candy O album there, Sean, from the Cars. Candy O. Candy-O. I want to say. So that was a painter, an artist that was born in 1896 that then designed that album cover for the Cars. That's pretty cool. Brazilian singer, dancer, and actress Carmen Miranda was born on this date in 1909. Carmen Miranda, isn't she like the fruit lady or whatever? Let's see. Who else? Anything else here that was not on the other list? Singer-songwriter Barry Mann, who penned 60s pop hits Saturday Night at the Movies, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, and who put the bump in the bump, 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 is 87. Mann's frequent songwriting partner was wife Cynthia Weil, who died June 1st of 2023. So sad to hear that. Means they were together a long, long time. Let me see if there's anything else that wasn't on that list. Nope, that's it. Sean Stanley, what do you got for me? You got anything? You got a picture for me? No? Yes? Maybe? Could be. I think it was I think Candy-O's the one it's the girl lying on the car. I want to say. But I'm not sure. We'll see if Sean comes up with it. By the way, I saw where John Cougar's making he's got a final tour. It looks to me like a final tour, and it's like a greatest hits. He's doing all his hits. And he told Bill Maher that he hated Rockin' in the USA. And it was the last song added on the album. And he was telling Bill Maher the story that he doesn't let the record executives ever listen to the album anymore because they would always have something stupid to say or whatever. And this was from the first time around from American Fool. He stopped letting them listen. And so accidentally one of the executives heard it and he heard Rockin' in the USA. And he goes, yeah, no, because he goes, the album was a theme album and that song didn't go with the theme of that album. Oh, it was. See, it's the girl lying on the car. So that was an artist. I did not know that. A famous artist. Okay. Did not know that. So he tells him, thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, sir. And so he tells them, no, I'm not keeping that song on. And so the executive gets wind of it and he shares a song. And so they berate Mellencamp. You got to put it on the record. It's a hit song. It's a hit song. And he hated the song. Even though he wrote it and everything, he hated it. And sure enough, it was a freaking hit. Only Jack and Diane went a higher spot. They went to number 2, and Jack and Diane went to number 1. And he had a bunch of other hits, but, Rockin' in the USA. And it'll be part of his tour. It will be included in the tour, which it should, because it's a hit. And that's kind of what it is, what this tour is. It's all the hits, So, let's see what else. I remember G. Bush Jr., they photoshopped a picture of him holding a book saying Presidents for Dummies. Oh, man. You know how many dumb shits that Junior used to say? Oh, my God. And we made fun of him constantly. Nowadays, it's with this one guy, it's completely different, dude. Completely different. And all his lackeys, they just get insulted, too. It's like, it's terrible. Andrew says, I did my job. I hit the like button. And back to my cafecito. You're an ass kicker, Andrew Moore. What else? Big O, I don't feel so bad having Jonah on our team after seeing the guard for the Patriots last night. And Jonah's a rookie, bro. He got a little better. Let's give him some time. Go Seahawks, go. They deserve every bit of it. Franz Ferdinand is really good live, too. I haven't seen them live yet. I got to see them live, Pat. I got to give them a chance on live. I do like, my daughter loves Franz Ferdinand, but I like him too. But I've never seen them live. I got to check them out. Big O, you are correct. She was lying on a red Ferrari. Yeah. Sean just showed it. I love the Cars, man. I love the Cars. Their music is so amazing. So original, too. That's the other thing. It's so hard to be original, and the Cars are as original as it gets. Nobody sounded like the Cars before, and nobody sounds like the Cars after. Nobody. Rick Ocasek and Benjamin Orr, and that sound, that group, they had it. And that is something that every band and artist searches for their entire existence, is to have their own sound. And anybody that achieves that usually achieves some great things. It's usually pretty amazing when you're able to accomplish that feat. Everyone was all lefties. I hope Goodell gets fired soon. He deserves it. Talk about the ratings are through the roof, brother. It's not the problem is that you think like that, left and right. You're the problem, Michael, not anybody else. You're the problem. The idea is to be accepting of everyone. But of course, you probably don't like that the world or the United States is a melting pot. Now you have a lot of brown and black people here, and you have all kinds of different cultures. So, you're all right with celebrating Cinco de Mayo, or we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, right? We celebrate all kinds of days for other cultures. It is what it is. I don't like Bad Bunny's music. I've never liked reggaeton in my life, and I'm Latin. But just because I'm Latin doesn't mean I'm supposed to like reggaeton. I don't like reggaeton, but a shit ton of people like it. And the viewership was through the roof. So actually, Michael, it's people like you that actually created more people watching. You know what you people remind me of? You people, Michael, what you remind me of is the same tight-ass idiots in the 80s that wanted to put labels on the records because they had bad words in them or something. And then what ended up happening? Motley Crue sold more albums. Everybody sold more albums. 2 Live Crew, whatever crew you want. They all sold more albums because a bunch of tight-ass idiots got bent out of shape. Interesting, isn't it? Same shit, different time. That's all. I remember that. But this time it came from the from the left side, actually, right? Because it was the dude that said he invented the internet, and his wife, Tipper Gore, right? Wasn't it Tipper? Wasn't it Tipper's tight ass? The political pendulum. Tipper's tight ass was worried about all the bad words and all that. Now we have the right side tight asses worried about all this. That's why America's pathetic. Americans are pathetic, period. We produce Biden and Trump. We're pathetic. That's all we can produce. We're stupid and pathetic. You know, Bush Jr., Obama. And you know what's coming next, right? Because, it goes Bush Jr., then we go over to Obama. Then we swing the political pendulum over to Trump. Then we go to Biden. Now we went back over to Trump, and now we're going to go to Newsom. Isn't it funny? Right? Huh? The tight asses are on the right side. Back in the 80s, the tight asses were on the left side. That's why those of us in the middle, we just get driven crazy by all of this. That's why all I do is make fun of each side, because it's just like, it's crazy. It just becomes ridiculous. So I'd rather just rip both sides. It's more fun that way, actually. I enjoy myself more that way, ripping both sides. By the way, Bitcoin back over 70,000. All right. How about the market? We getting in the green or what? The Dow is barely in the red, only 9 points under. The S&P is in the green. It's up 44 points. And the NASDAQ is up 0.75 of a point. So not too bad right now. So Big O, the guard from the Patriots, is also a rookie. Will Campbell. Yeah, the tackle got eaten up like crazy. And everybody got eaten up on that offensive line, man. Yes, sir.
The whole right side was rookies, right guard and right tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody got beat up, dude. Everybody got beaten there. I saw penetration all over the place. All over the place. So, it is what it is. Hate me, a born American soldier. It has nothing to do with born American soldier. It just has to do with being a tight ass. My dad was a soldier. Big deal. That has nothing to do with accepting of all, dude. That's all it is. That's all it is. Accepting of all, which obviously many are not. So that's all it is, my brother. Has nothing to do. Don't try to get any sympathy that way. By the way, the misdirection doesn't work here on the show. Just so you'll know, the misdirection doesn't work here on the show. Okay, so I'm picking at you for your opinion. Okay, your opinion doesn't change from where you come from, dude. Use your intelligence, because if you don't, you're going to get crushed here. Got that? All right. So there you go. All right. Kid Rock. Yeah, I know Kid Rock. I mean, again, tight ass conservatives, but they're supporting Kid Rock. Tight ass conservatives, but they support the guy that protects pedophiles off the Epstein list. Don't know. I'm just wondering how priorities. Talking out of both sides of your ass? Not sure. So you support the guy that says he grabs him by the pee. Boy, that's really religious. Yeah, of course. Oh, definitely. Of course. That's super religious. That's super caring, and that's super, let's so inclusive. Sure. Priorities. What are the priorities there? Confused on those priorities. Really confused on those priorities. So, accepting of all your side's only hates. That's it. That's it. That's it. My side. I'm in the middle. I don't lean left or right. You're leaning. I don't lean either side, bro. I don't care about either side. They're both, but the right side's the one that's in charge now, and they're the ones that aren't inclusive, my brother. That's why they spew the hate. You know how it is, a president hating on your athletes? Come on, dude. That's not what I support. But you can support that if you want. You can embarrass yourself with that. That's fine with me. Anyway, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Lindsey Vonn, that poor woman, loses out on a flag. On a flag, dude. I feel terrible for her. The fact that she was able to make a couple of runs on that knee was amazing. Okay? Just absolutely amazing to be able to make a run on that knee. And to do it a couple of times. And if she doesn't get caught up with that flag and loses her balance, because if you watched it on the two runs, it was like really disciplined because she had no room for error, of course. You know what I mean? Because you don't have the stability on that knee that you normally would have. So, it's just crazy. But for her to be able to do that, first of all, her courage, to be as fearless as she is ridiculous, dude. Like, most athletes would never, ever attempt to do what she did. And I get it. She's 41. This is her last chance to actually get it done. So I understand that this was, and she worked so hard to get back and qualify, and she earned the right to be there. It wasn't like it was given to her. She earned the right to be there. And for that to happen to her, man, you just, it kind of like, it sucked the life out of me for a portion of that day, watching the Olympics and watching any of the, and we did have a gold medal skier too at the same time, and that was cool, but it kind of took away from the day when she got injured, because you knew what she had actually worked for and how much she had sacrificed to get to this point, and unfortunately, come up short. Man, felt bad for her. That is one of the greatest athletes of all time, an inspirational person for all of us, no matter what. That is awesome, dude. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But it sucked to see that ending there. It really sucked to see that ending there. Man, she deserved to have at least finish it. If she didn't medal, but to just be able to finish it with that knee would have been a great story. Even if she didn't place in any of the medal spots, but for her to have she had a fractured left leg, and then she had the surgery to stabilize it. Her courage is beyond belief. Yeah. So, true Finn fan. Yeah. Oh, I mean, whatever, bro. Doesn't matter. What is it? Oh, Musclehead. Okay, he's a Musclehead. I got it. Okay. Yeah, the crash. You got to go to Twitter or something. Some places like kind of stayed away from showing the crash, But if you did watch it, it just, I don't know. I felt so bad for her because she's such an amazing athlete, and nobody has worked harder at their craft than that woman. Really, just nothing but bravery when I see that woman, and stuff that most people would never. I look at Tyler Hero, and then I look at this woman, and I'm like, holy shit. That's quite a difference, man, between the two. It's crazy. It's quite a difference between the two. Tyler Hero and Lindsey Vonn. All right. I see that over the weekend, Adam Schefter reported something that we've been talking about for weeks here. So Adam Schefter reports that the Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals, but specifically the Dolphins, would prefer to trade Tua as opposed to simply cutting him. I'm seeing that. I'm going, okay, we've been talking about that for weeks on our show, that, they're going to cut him. But if they can trade him and pay a certain amount of his salary, maybe they can get back a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. I don't even think it'll be a 4th, but maybe a 5th, 6th, 7th round or something in return if they pay a chunk of the salary. And that way that team that inherits Tua is not really taking much of a risk. At that point, that kind of shit. We've been telling you about this for a while. But it's official now. It's official now. Okay. Now Schefter put it out there. Now it's official that they're trying to trade him or cut him, which, of course, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to keep him on the roster. It makes no sense to inherit somebody else's problem. It could turn out to be a blessing for you, but there's a good chance it'll be a curse. So cut them, and that way you dump everything on the last regime and you move on. And that way you can't be faulted. Nobody can fault you for cutting Tua. People can fault you and question you for keeping Tua on the roster. So that's what you do. And by the way, there's a part of me that still thinks that Tua wants the hell out of here and has been wanting the hell out of here. Because in the last year, his body language, the way he talks, the way he's talked about how dysfunctional the situation is around him, where people don't go to meetings on time, or people don't know where to line up or what routes to run or all that kind of stuff, or having problems with the communication and all that, as he's giving you crumbs throughout. It just sounds to me like a guy that has had enough of this, which I don't blame any player that comes here to Miami and says, I've had enough of this shitty organization, because it's a shitty organization. The Dolphins are what they are, dude. None of us can change that. We can never, ever change that. So there's a part of me that he kind of wants to do everything he can to get the hell out of here too. And then I'm interested to see what happens. Does he just retire, walks away with his money, which God bless him if he does, go ahead, have some fun. Or does he get motivated and get himself in shape? And can he get his body back to where it was 2 years ago? And then he goes out and has some success with somebody else. I'm dying to see what happens here with that. You know what I mean? Because it's just it was a very weird ending to everything going on. And there was a lot of cryptic feel to all of this. That's what I got. I got a very cryptic feel to this whole thing. So we'll see. We shall see. But I was just laughing because that was not news. That's old ass news to me, because I already knew that and talked about it, that they're going to release him, but they're going to try to trade him first if they can. If they can trade him and they're going to bite the bullet this year, they might as well go ahead and bite a bigger size of the bullet and pay some of the salary and make it easier for somebody, just so they could get a pick back like they did with Ryan Tannehill when they got back a 4th rounder, because they paid some of the salary. So we shall find out what goes on. What else? By the way, Michael Saylor he only bought 1,142 Bitcoin. We thank our friends at R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike, since we'll talk a little crypto here real quick. Michael Saylor and Strategy bought 1,142 Bitcoin for $90 million And this time he bought it right around the market at 78,815 per coin. Last week when he bought it at $10,000 over per coin. Okay, this time he got it right around the market. He was able to negotiate for now they own 714,644 Bitcoin for $54.35 billion. And their average price is at 76,056. So they're a little over in the green right now because they're a little under the green right now because we are at 70. They're in the red right now. Let's see. We are at 70 basically. So they are 6,000 under right now. Their average. And by the way, right now we're hanging around the price of mining a Bitcoin, which is around 71 to 74,000. Okay. Now, by the way, remember the South Korean exchange we talked about last week that the employees sent out 2,000 Bitcoin? They were able to recover 97% of it. That's pretty good. And again, on the blockchain, don't listen to Elizabeth Warren. That stupid bitch has no idea what she's talking about. She's just evil and wants to keep you tied to the banking system and the dollar. But on the blockchain, you can track everything. That's why when people like Elizabeth Warren and others say, oh, money launderers and criminals will want to use Bitcoin. No, they won't, asshole, because it's all on an open ledger. They can see where you're going and where the money is and where it's traveling. Criminals, last time I checked, criminals like to do things where people don't find out about it. I don't know. I've been told about that. I'm just saying. So the fact that they recovered 97% is scary. Do you know why I say it's scary and I feel bad? That means that the shock at the moment, okay, but the worst part was that a lot of people panic sold then. Instead of it being that 2,000 Bitcoin, no. Remember, that's more than what Michael Saylor just bought. He bought 1,142. This is talking about 2,000 Bitcoin. And the fact that you had that drop, that means I feel bad that a lot of probably short-term holders sold and they lost their asses. Because, those are people that probably bought it at 90, 100, 110, 85, and they lost. And then it'll take off again, and then they'll get back on again. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so there you go. Those are some of the things that went on. And we thank our friends at R&M Contractors, 305-345-3649. That's 305-345-3649. If you want to see their work, if you need some complete remodel for your home or your condo, your business, kitchen upgrades, appliances, waterproofing your terrace, your balcony, a flood test report, impact windows and door installations, go to their Instagram page at RMC Fisher Island. Their work is impeccable, dude. Okay? Impeccable. Really impressive. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, anytime, anywhere. And send in your questions, comments, and insults. Getting old, seeing Tyler Hero sitting in the back wearing some silly outfit. Well, that's the Heat's fault, dude. So what can I tell you? The Heat is an organization that is lost right now. Big O, she has more heart and courage and guts than unfortunately most men. That's her second injury on a knee, and now she's got it broken. You said, F. Bella, wow, she is the toughest. Yeah, she is the toughest. I don't know what the F. Bella means. Anyway, Toonstone says, the sooner our country figures out the Dems and reps are two wings of the same. Yeah, bro, that's the worst part, Toonstone. That's the worst part. The idiots on the far right and the idiots on the far left, they're like the same. They're the same, dude. Exactly the same. You are correct. There aren't enough middle people like us, dude. Just like those two stupid parties. You think they'll pick Rand Paul? No, because he makes more sense than anybody does on that crazy-ass right wing, because he's more in the middle. Just like Bashir in Kentucky. You think the left is going to... No, dude, they're going to want Newsom or AOC or some crazy-ass shit like that. And they're all the same. That's why Warren and Trump agreed to, eliminate the debt ceiling. And our Jewish friends, they don't... Each party's not completely in their side either. So a shit ton of anti-Semites out there that also, not only do we have, other biases, we also have that stinking bias stuck in the middle. Look, my boy Shapiro, I like Shapiro in Pennsylvania. He has no shot because of the Jewish stuff that we've got going on now. He's got so many stinking anti-Semites out there. It's crazy. We got too much hate from the left and the right. Far left, far right. And those are the people you guys keep putting in office. The far left and the far right. Nobody puts anybody in the middle. Nobody. Because nobody on the right wants a Rand Paul. Because he makes too much sense. And he's not sold out like the rest of those guys. Do I agree with everything Rand Paul does? No. Andy Bashir in Kentucky, the Dem. Do I agree with everything? No, but he's way better than any of the Dems they have now. Yeah, that's it. Tombstone, that's the problem. And then we have a whole bunch of silly fans. Can you imagine you're being a fan of a politician? You can't do that. You can want to vote on a guy or whatever, but please don't die on a sword for any of these people. They're all going to stab you in the back at one point or another. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't get it. I don't get the fanaticism behind politicians. You can vote for somebody, but just vote for them and be careful. Hold them to a really high standard. And the problem is, the people you vote in they're not held to any standard whatsoever, bro. It's terrible. It's terrible. Big O, grade the NFL season A through F in terms of excitement season. I give it a B. I like that grade you gave it. You said B-. That's fine. Yeah. B's fine. It was a decent season. What else? Nancy Guthrie story, kidnapper demanding multi-million. Well, no, but that was the first fake one, right? Wasn't that the guy that they busted? That wasn't a real kidnapper, the guy that asked for Bitcoin. They busted his ass. Like some idiot goes out there and wants to take advantage of the situation, and they tracked him down, and that's it. It was over. But I don't know if the real kidnappers, there was like 2 deadlines, and they've already passed, and I haven't heard anything new on the Guthrie situation on the real kidnappers. The fake kidnapper is the one that you talked about that was asking for Bitcoin. The best part about that is that's a guy that doesn't know anything about Bitcoin and was asking for Bitcoin. Because usually the people that really like are, do crazy stuff like that or what, they usually don't know anything about Bitcoin. Again, if you're a thief, why would you do anything on the blockchain? It's hilarious if you understand what I'm talking about. It's not hilarious to most of you because you don't understand Bitcoin or the blockchain or what the hell I'm talking about, that it's an open ledger. But like, if you're a criminal, the last place you want to do a crime is with Bitcoin. It's the last place you want to do a crime. You need to do it with cash. You need to do it with voodoo businesses and what are those things called? Those shell companies. That's why I was going like this. Shell companies. That's how you do it. That's the stuff you use that's dirty. You don't want to use Bitcoin. That's why I can tell that it was somebody that doesn't understand Bitcoin. You don't want, if you're going to ask for, here we go. If you're going to ask for it, you ask for it in Monero. Okay? Monero is private money. There is no way of tracking it. Governments, including especially the Dems, the Republicans haven't complained nearly as much or at all, really. I haven't seen much. I got to see what the new Clarity Act is going to have on that. The Dems hated Monero. Oh my God, they hated Monero in a big time way. Like exchanges were not selling Monero just because that. And Monero is the best privacy coin that exists on the planet. Okay, you want to hide your identity? Monero. But again, if you don't understand anything we're talking about, you're not going to you're not going to have any success in this world, because if you don't know anything about Monero, you can't really talk about it. You see? But some people are educated when it comes to the blockchain and crypto, and they know. But see, the thing is, since I'm not a criminal, I'm not kidnapping anybody. I'm not creating any kind of crimes or anything. But if I wanted to actually, do that, I would do it with Monero. By the way, let's walk you through a little bit here on Monero. Might as well, right? Since it's in the subject, you guys are going, yeah, he's talking about some bullshit coin or something. I'm going to just show you what Monero has been on. What kind of a tear Monero has been on. Because now that the Republicans are in charge, Monero has kind of taken off. And so, see, it's at $325 right now per coin. Now, we go all time, right? Let me see if I can do this here. Let me see. Here, a year. Look where this baby was at 203 in April of 2025. 211. So it was in the 200 area a little less than a year ago. If I go all time, let me see. How low did we get to? 159 in 23. We got down to $133 on April 4th of 2024. And look where we're at now, $325. So Monero is a privacy coin. And that's what you do. If you're a thief, you want to do things through Monero, because then you can send it anywhere and everywhere and you can't track it or trace it. Education is a big problem with the blockchain and crypto. And that's a problem with us now in this world, education. People don't know about things and then they talk about stuff. And so usually people like that, like the guy there that did the Bitcoin thing, he doesn't really understand the blockchain. And that's why eventually we'll move everything to the blockchain, because businesses will be able to track everything a lot easier. Governments will be able to track a lot easier. It'll be harder to create crimes on the blockchain, all of those kind of things. Money can be duplicated, can be reprinted, all that stuff. Bitcoin, you can't. You just can't. There's only 21 million and it's over. It's over. And it's on an open ledger, and it's every transaction is there and it can be tracked. So it's just a process. And eventually, as the world understands all of this, we will grow immensely in that area. It's just some of us are a little bit ahead of others of where we're going in this world when it comes to that. We adjust. Unlike the Miami Heat, here on this show, we adjust with the times. Okay? Big O, I meant broken fibula. I'm driving and texting. Okay. Ted says, I learned the hard way from Obama to not be a fan or trust any politicians ever, right? Because he's there picking the games and all that, and he's likable and all that. And then in the end, it was a whole bunch of horse shit. He loaded $8 trillion on the deficit, overall. And, it wasn't like the economy wasn't like, dude, the stock market was at 8,000. It was going to go up no matter what. It doesn't, stock market's going to fly no matter what. Remember, all these stocks are overinflated. They're not worth anything like this. It's just that the money is worthless. So since the money is worthless, the smart people turn their money into commodities. Commodities grow because the money shrinks. And because the money's worth less, the commodity's worth more, because it takes more of the money to earn the commodity. So that's what people do. They hide their money in the commodity, because if they keep it in the bank, it shrinks and you buy less every day. That's the math. That's why when you buy Bitcoin and just sit and hodl and leave it there, and then you use your extra money for that, you'll watch it grow over time, because it only grows over time. It doesn't shrink over time. So that's what's going on. Your house is not worth nearly as much as it says. It's that the money is not worth what it was. And so it takes more money to purchase that car. It takes more money to purchase that house. Now you're getting less of a whopper, but you're paying more for it because the money is worth less. It's the reverse. People blame the companies and the corporations when you should be blaming all your politicians. Since 2001, from Bush Jr. on, these guys have printed $32.5 trillion of our $38.5 trillion deficit. The other $6 trillion were printed with all the presidents from the past. The rest were printed from 2001 on. Stop being a fan of Democrats or Republicans. They don't give a shit about you. But, once you become a hardcore Bitcoiner and you understand what's really going on with our economy and what each side is doing to us, you will stop being a little fanboy or fangirl of either side. And you will understand more. And you will be free of all that bullshit. And you'll be like me, that you can have fun making fun of Biden and yelling and all that for 4 years. And now I'll make fun of Trump and Trumpies for 4 years. And then the next 4 years, when I'm in Panama, I'll be making fun of Newsom, because that's what they're going to give us. They're giving us Newsom. So NorCal will be in Panama with me. See? I know NorCal's coming to Panama with me, because he's had to deal with Newsom in California. So now he's going to have to deal. Now everybody's going to have to deal with Newsom coming up next, because that's what that idiot party will pick. So all I can tell you is, don't pick a side. Pick American. Because Republicans and Democrats, they ain't Americans, dude. They're not Americans. Oh, 70,600. We're starting to pump. Oh, it's like Hans and Franz. We're starting to pump you up. So let's see. Are we riding? Are we looking to get back to 71? We were at 71 last night, I think, or early this morning or something like that. No, it's not a Hall of Fame shirt. This is just a regular MTV, just the original. I saw it and I had to get it because it just is just a big part of my life back in the day when I was a teenager. So I had to get it because it means too much. It's a pretty cool shirt. So, and I miss that MTV. I really do. I really miss that MTV. That was fun with the music news and the interviews and the concert dates and all that kind of stuff. I miss that, actually. It sucks. But then again, if you did it now, there'd be a lot of reminiscing because, with today's music, well, there's some stuff that I probably wouldn't enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So it's it'd kind of be hit and miss at times for me in MTV nowadays. When then it was hit most of the time, except maybe roly-poly fish eggs, eat them up, yum, or something, when something like that would come up. Pat at Asheville goes, oh my God, Newsom would be such a Dem decision. Oh God, that is a total Dem decision. Total Dem decision. Yes. Yes. They would definitely pick it. Yeah, bro, for sure. Yeah. 78-19 now. I think we are pumping to get to 71 now. Look out. It just turned green for the day. 0.18% up. Not 18%. 0.18 of 1%. It just barely crossed the green right now at 70,820. So there we go. So we are moving in the right direction. No, I'm saying that belongs in the T-shirt Hall of Fame if they have. Oh, okay. Thank you. It is a cool shirt. I like it. When I saw it, I go, okay, I got to have it. Because people are, around my age or my era or whatever, they can appreciate it because it meant so much to them. Kurt Loder was like right after. He was like the news guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's when MTV was like kind of turning the next phase and the next page. But I'm talking about like the original 5 VJs. JJ Jackson, Nina Blackwood, Mark Goodman. Oh God, I'm missing the two. Alan something. Alan Hunter and oh God. Follow her on Twitter too. Oh man, I don't know how I'm forgetting her name now. She's probably my favorite VJ out of all of them. Oh God. She was the youngest one out of the group. It's not Nina Blackwood, it's the other one. Oh God. I want to get it before one of you actually post it on the damn chat board because I'm looking at the chat board right now. No, before Julie Brown. Julie Brown's the next version. Julie Brown replaced Nina Blackwood, actually, is what it was. No. Julie Brown replaced Nina Blackwood. When Nina left, no, Kennedy came after that, too. Yeah, she's not on Fox anymore, right, Kennedy? I don't see her on Fox anymore. Beavis and Butthead. God, it's Martha Quinn. Thank you, Pat. Figures it would be you. She's my favorite out of all of them, Martha Quinn, and I forgot her. Martha Quinn, Nina Blackwood, Alan Hunter, Mark Goodman, and JJ Jackson, right? Yes, those are the 5. By the way, JJ Jackson was a very famous radio DJ before he started with MTV. JJ Jackson is credited by Led Zeppelin themselves as being the first DJ to play Led Zeppelin in the United States and push Led Zeppelin onto folks. So little useless nugget that's in my head that maybe some of you did not know about JJ Jackson, that he was a legendary radio disc jockey before he got on to MTV and became one of the original 5 VJs. And he's the dude that helped kickstart Led Zeppelin in this country. As Gnarls Barkley would say, ain't that some shit? Okay? A brother ignited Led Zeppelin into the United States. That's inclusive, baby. Goes with the theme. Live by it. Yeah, Kennedy went all political. I know she went to the Fox and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, she had to adjust. She was going to run out of that. She had to grow up and find another gig, and she found another gig. Good for her, bro. Whether you agree or disagree, who gives a shit? Pat says some of the original VJs now host a weekly 80s countdown on Sirius XM 80s on 8 on Saturdays. I used to have Sirius XM. I haven't had it for a couple of years now. So yeah, no, I haven't been listening to Sirius in a while. So I know that Martha Quinn does her stuff. I ran into Goodman when I was at Sirius. Actually, I was in a studio and I was recording something, and then he was standing outside. And I turn around and look, and I'm going, is that Mark Goodman? And then I walk out and I said, Mark Goodman. And he goes, yeah. And I go, hey, man, nice to meet you. He goes, nice to meet you, but I need that studio. And I go, it's all yours, dude. So he was standing outside waiting for me to record the spot that I was recording. And then he was going to get into the studio to record some stuff also for his gig. And that was the way I met Mark Goodman. That's the only, I did meet Martha Quinn, but it's actually only social media that we went back and forth on Twitter. That's it. But Goodman I did meet in person. He was cool. I enjoyed that was a great era, man. It was a great era. So yeah, they had the Rock and Jock softball. Yeah. That's when Dan something. He was also popular for a short time. Dan something. He was like kind of like an athletic dude and a DJ or whatever, and a VJ. And Dan something, I forgot the guy's name, that he was also kind of popular in those days too. That was like the transitioning of MTV and its VJs. But once like kind of that's kind of like the ending of my watching was Downtown Julie Brown and Loader and all that, and then it started to really die out with all the programming that they changed and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the first kind of few years was awesome. Dan Cortez, nice job by you, sir. That's it. Dan Cortez. That's it. Yeah. Martha Quinn has a show on iHeartMedia, I believe. Yes, she does. She has a show. I think it's out on the West Coast. It's on a West Coast station, if I'm correct. I think so. Yeah. That I know about. I haven't heard it, but I know about it. That's for sure. All right, man. I think we are done here. I think I have nothing else to talk about overall. Talked about the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. Talked about Schefter. Talked about the Super Bowl. Talked about Bad Bunny. Got all our Bitcoin and crypto news in. Got our music stuff in. Yeah. We talked to Ira Winderman. We had a full show, man. You have to get that shirt. Go to... Where did I get it? Did I get it? I think I got it on Amazon. Dude, I either got it on Amazon or let me see if one of their emails comes in on my email, because they send stuff all the time. You know what? I'm going to look in the trash for it, because it's like Tease something. That might be the people. Look for it on Amazon. Look for MTV shirts on Amazon. It might be there. Or Let me give you this company that has all kinds of classic shirts that you'll love. Not just this, but a bunch of others. And let me see if I can pull it up. I know I'm going to have an old email with it. Bear with me here for a second. I will find it for you. And any of you, if you like it, music, pop culture, it's got this site has got like all kinds of 80s shirts and 90s shirts and just classic stuff, even 70s. I bought a K-Tel one and all that. Oh, man. I can't find. Oh, T-Public. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I think it's called, is it called T-Public? Yeah. Yeah. T-Public. T-E-E Public is the name of the company. And they have all kinds of shirts, man. Yeah. They're the ones. They're the ones. Check them out. T-Public. And they have all kinds of shit. So that would be where I would go. And you might find my shirt and others. You may find some other ones that you may like even better than this one. Who knows? You know what I mean? Well, thank you, Drew. I'm a T-shirt guy, so I kind of have a decent collection of tees. That's a reason why I also want to move down to Panama and Costa Rica. I never ever want to wear a jacket again. I just want to be in shorts and a T-shirt. That's it. That's what I want. Shorts and a T-shirt. And that's the life I want to live. Okay? And as I told my wife, you're going to bury me with a concert shirt. Okay? It'll be, they'll have a jacket on, but there'll be a concert shirt under. I will pass with a concert shirt on. That has to be my dying wish. I got to be wearing a concert shirt. Okay? All right. All right, folks, we are out of here. We appreciate all of you out there. If you hit the like button, thank you. Hit that like button before you go. Get us over 100 there. I see we're at 92. Remember, you can always make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo. We are over 70,695. Remember, you can send in a question, comment, insult there on Cash App or Venmo. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll be live at Hialeah Park. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. I didn't even think we did three hours today. That is insane, dude. That's like 6 hours of regular radio because I did 3 hours of straight talk. 3 hours of straight talk. That's 3 hours of straight. No commercial breaks. Okay? No 9-minute commercial breaks. That would be 6 hours on QAM right now. Maybe 7. Insane. We'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.